have its own playoff?
No, not really.
You don't? I wouldn't hate it.
Well, I mean, look, if we do separate and we have super conferences and we ultimately have 60 teams playing and then you've got a separate one. I mean, I've watched some of the FCS championships before, and these would be more known brands.
Yeah. So. Here's what I would want to know from our viewers who are UAB, Troy, South Alabama, and Jack State fans in Alabama, and anyone else in those footprints of the Sun Belt and stuff. Do you guys want your own group of 5? I don't want to hear from Alabama and Auburn fans. Do you guys want your own group of 5 national championship? Mike Oresco, who got the American up and running, says you instantly, by saying we're going to have a group of 5 playoff, you say we're second tier.
Well, you do,
but I think there's that perception anyway.
Yeah,
right?
there is. It is. You're owning the perception that's already out there about you. Now, my problem is, what does this do for the group of 5 berth in the actual playoff?
I would imagine this only happens if the SEC and Big Ten take that away.
And my question then would be, what's the money like for my playoff versus what's the money like for the berth in the playoff?
Well, if you wonder what Derek Dooley is doing, he is walking around pushing for private equity to help with this playoff. But as some
Saudis,
some athletic directors have said privately to Chris Vanini of The Athletic, if private equity is pushing for this playoff, private equity is going to make most of the money. How much are we going to end up getting
That's
for
right,
this?
Yeah.
Because they do get a cut of the original playoff, the college football playoff.
They do. I just view it as a Jack State alum. I view it as something that I would love for my school to be part of, because I am realistic enough to know that even if my school makes the actual college football playoff, if Jack State ever made it, zero chance they could win 4 games and win the whole thing. I know that.
Well, let me ask you.
Zero chance.
Zero chance. There's zero chance. There's zero chance.
But let me ask you. Would you rather have that opportunity to make that playoff, even if you lose the first round every time, to have a chance maybe to pull the upset, or to have a group of 5 playoff where you can go and win a championship? Would you rather be a chance? Basically, you're the group of 5 champion if you get that automatic bid.
I think I'd rather have the group of 5 playoff. I think I just remember as a Jack State fan when they were one of the top dogs in FCS, how exciting that was, right? And I know that was everything you played for in FCS. It wasn't like a second tier. But when Jack State was making those runs to Frisco and they were playing in those playoff games, the year they went up to Eastern Washington, Eli Jenkins got hurt. I think they could have made it was Bill Clark's year. I think they could have made the national championship game that year. Those were fun years. So I don't want to trade that off. I'm fine that they jumped up and they got in Conference USA, but I don't want to trade that off for just going to a playoff. I mean, that is just so...
But do you not see it as if you are the one group of 5 team in the main playoffs?
Yeah.
At that point, you're the group of 5 national champion, in my opinion. Could you not just say you're the group of 5 national champion?
You could, but then I go get drubbed by a team on their playoffs. A team on their home field.
But what if that doesn't happen? What if there's that one time you pull the upset?
So I pull the upset. What do I do? I lose the next week on somebody's field.
Yeah, but if you ever pull the upset, you are the team that your 16 beat 1.
You're Maryland, Baltimore County. You beat a 16 seed.
I mean, that's what it would be.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you are. You're Maryland. What has that done for Maryland, Baltimore County?
I mean,
I just said their name, but what's it done for their program?
But what did App State beating Michigan in the regular season do for App State?
I mean,
put them on the map.
It put them on the map. They're a Sun Belt team now. They would be in this playoff.
Yeah. We'll see if it ever happens. I would imagine it doesn't happen while they still have access to the main playoffs. If the SEC and Big Ten down the road after this 2-year flexes the muscle and there's no automatic bid for the group of 5, then you got to play for something.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in on the playoff there, group of 5. As a fan, it just gives me more meaningful games to watch.
I think I would get more excited about it.
Yeah.
More things to wager on.
I mean, it gives me more games to watch that have some meaning to it.
Part of the plan would be a realignment with the AAC, Sun Belt, and Conference USA all sort of joining forces and having sort of a southern footprint of with divisions of sort of a power conference as the group of 5. We'll see if any of that happens. Big story there at The Athletic. Chris Vanini writing that story. That's our show today, NFL Draft tonight. Our draft show coming up later on. 4:30 Central Time on all our video platforms. We're at
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round. Presented by Bud Light. is on now.
Finally official, Rylan Griffin is off to Kansas, the worst kept secret in the basketball portal, reported this morning from Rylan himself. Nice Photoshop in the Kansas uniform there. He's on his way to being a Jayhawk now, and all the reasons why you can discuss amongst yourselves. We'll get into some portal news later in the show. Welcome in to the big show this morning. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Rockstar off today, so there's Tyler right there supporting Supreme again today. Shout out Supreme everywhere. I mean, you're logoed up today.
Do you have a deal with them, Tyler?
I have no idea what Supreme is.
I wish I had a deal with them, but no, I just collect it.
I mean, you wear exclusive Supreme gear.
Do you guys know what Supreme is?
I have no idea.
I don't. I just assume it has something to do in the gaming and or skateboard industry.
It's anime.
No, it's just a skate brand.
Oh, so I was right with skate.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at Dunaway.
Hey, if we gave you a board in an empty pool, could you do some damage?
Oh, yeah, I could drop in and do some stuff.
Do you ever go to Railroad Park and skate with
drop
those people?
in.
Did you hear the
Drop
lingo?
in is the lingo
I could
there.
drop in and
You ever
do some
gone to
stuff.
Railroad Park and skate around with those guys?
I haven't made my way out there yet.
Okay, we'll take you out there and show you off one
Yeah.
day.
So could you throw your skateboard up on a stair rail and slide down it?
Oh, no, I can't do that.
Can you do a 720?
No.
So you really can't drop in
So
and do a
what-
whole
so
lot.
what are
then.
you going to do when you drop in?
Well, not a 720. That's pretty difficult.
But if you can't,
Difficult.
turns.
if you can't do
Difficult,
the if you can't do the stairwell, you're not even going to make it on my TikTok feed.
That's fine.
I mean, that's there everywhere.
Wait, so you guys tell me a steep hill. I'm thinking in
Double Oak Mountain.
Double Oak Mountain. Are you familiar with Double Oak Mountain?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you skate down that?
Ooh.
God, if you
That's content. Let's get little T on this.
Listen,
That
if
would
you,
be rough.
We'll give you some elbow pads.
If you come off the board, you're losing skin.
I mean,
And a
first
lot
of all,
it-
we'd have to block off the road first. It'd be
Not
easier.
necessarily. I see people walking it all the time.
It'd be pretty easy once you. I mean, you just got to get a slalom going like you're skiing to slow down your speed.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, but then again, one rock
Yep.
and
One little rock.
One little rock gets game over.
Lady, one crack in the pavement,
Yeah, that's
one
true.
pothole.
One
muffler.
pothole, you're done.
One
Yeah.
muffler somebody left behind.
Exactly.
Scott Forrester on the back row. We saved him for last. There's no Lunsford or Rockstar. We'll start with the NFL draft with Forrester. Hey, do me a favor, just so we need clarity here. Can you grab Lunsford's mic since he's not here? Pull it to you.
Why? Is Scott's not working
Did
again?
did we fix his?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
We've
on
been
yesterday.
good.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, Forrester, I would just ask you off the top, and I know it was Super Bowl, so it's probably going to be that for the answer. But what is more shocking, blowing a 28-3 Super Bowl lead or signing Kirk Cousins to a $180 million deal and then going out and getting what was viewed as the fifth best quarterback with the 8th overall pick, and you tell your $180 million quarterback, while they're on the clock, we're not going to help you out for this year. We're going to get the quarterback of the future, who, by the way, is about to turn 24 years old. What's more shocking?
And has torn his ACL twice.
Yeah, he set the record.
Oh, by the way.
Both knees, yeah.
Yeah.
More shocking was last night. I'm still kind of in disbelief.
The most shocking moment I've seen in the NFL draft. I don't know about you guys.
Ever?
Ever.
Wow.
Ever.
Well, I mean, first off, you go full broken family relationship, not giving Kirk Cousins a heads up you're going to do it.
Well, he's your longtime quarterback, though, Jim, so he should know this,
You
right?
give him, $100 million guaranteed.
Yes.
I mean, I roll into a Home Depot all the time, so I know Arthur's got it. But
dude has not even put on a Falcons helmet yet, and you've already done this to him.
you double bird him by not getting him any defensive help or more offensive help, leaving all that out there. And not only that, you bring in a guy who, just by the financials of it all, he's not going to play for 2 years, which means by the time he, at best, is off of mandated guaranteed money of Kirk Cousins, because you got him for 2 years, because that's the guaranteed part of the 4-year contract, $100 million. To your point, by the time he becomes your number one quarterback, he's already 26 freaking years old.
Yeah, look, and I think ultimately he might be the second best quarterback in this draft. You guys know how high I've been on Michael Penix Jr., but whatever draft coverage I was listening to on the way home from Twin Peaks last night was on when I got in the car this morning, and the first comments I hear is, boy, what a job out of the Falcons. They have solidified the quarterback position for the next decade.
Who said that?
Some dude, I don't know, but I was like, how do you even know Penix is going to be good at this level?
Yeah.
And by the way, Kirk Cousins is good, but he ain't great.
And is coming off Achilles surgery, where he tore his Achilles last October. So we assume he'll be able to walk straight.
Scott, how many healthy legs y'all got at quarterback right now?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2. I don't know.
Combined.
Yeah, combined.
I just don't know why you don't trade back. Like, you could have gotten Penix Jr. probably in the 20s, I'm guessing. Now, who knows? We saw the desperation of
I don't know,
quarterbacks.
man. Bo Nix went 12.
Week 6 going to 12.
Yes.
And some of the comments, and I know we'll get to them with Sean Payton on Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Sean Payton.
Let's take this one
I know.
controversy at a time. Let's take this one Hail
Those
Mary at a time.
comments, as shocking as the draft selection last night from the Falcons,
Yeah.
but I just don't get anything about this.
So
The
if you're
Broncos
Atlanta, you are saying this is the best quarterback over the next 3 this year and the next 2 years that we could possibly draft. That's the only thing you're saying there, right?
To your point is the next year, Carson Beck, we probably won't be in position to get him.
Well,
the year after that,
or we're not willing to trade to get there.
So we're going to ride with this
and
guy.
then in the year after,
Now, some people, Nick Saban included on the ABC broadcast, says this is really the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to draft a guy. You're supposed to let him season behind the veteran like Green Bay did with Favre and Rodgers and Love. And this is the way you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to draft him and put him in there instantly. So Saban wasn't all upset about it. He was saying this is the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to, Kirk Cousins, you got him for 2 years guaranteed. The rest of that is an optional contract. And you like Michael Penix, simmer, marinate,
No
grow and
way
learn.
he would have done it like that. The thing, Saban did a great job last night, but the one thing that you would notice, he was consistently positive about everything.
No, he was not.
there were some guys he said, here's what he needs to do better.
The Mims kid, he ripped the Mims
Well, the
kid.
Mims kid
in
does
the
that.
As nice as he
in the
could.
nicest way
Yeah.
possible. He says, "Oh no, this guy's got a lot of talent." The
Yeah.
first thing I was asked would be why he played the first 15 snaps
Bingo.
of the SEC championship game against us, and then he takes himself out of the game, and then he's only started 8 games in his career. Why is he only available for? I mean, he's saying that kind of stuff. That's basically saying he doesn't have a good work
I'm
ethic
scared to death if I'm Cincinnati.
and can't
Oh,
play
I
with
would be
pain.
too.
Can't
Yeah.
play with pain.
Yeah.
I mean, they just love big offensive linemen. They've got by far the biggest, when you look at Orlando Brown and Trent Brown, you've got by far the biggest offensive line in all of football. But outside of those, and I think a lot of people pointed out, this guy hadn't played a lot of football.
Yeah,
but
he ripped it.
But
Like he knew.
Saban was positive than 99%.
No, he was.
But you have to in the draft.
The game day, I think if you want to see guys kind of be positive, you watch the game day. If you want to see guys tear them up a little bit, you watch the NFL crew. I've noticed that over the years. Like, it's not just Saban. Like, Herb Street's never going to tear a guy up.
So I watched both. I watched last night. I had both on, but I listened to Herb Street, Reese, and Saban. And then this morning I went back and watched the NFL Network's coverage with Eisen, Joel Klatt, Charles Davis, and Daniel
DJ.
Jeremiah. By the way, the only people that talk on that were Eisen and DJ. Poor Klatt wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, it's tough for Klatt, too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, is like these college game day guys, they've gotten to know these players over 3 years. They've done games with Caleb Williams and sat in those meetings with Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, Marius Mims, Terry Honor. They've gotten to know these players, right? So they've got the relationship with these players, and it's hard to sit up there and say, listen, I don't think fill in the blank can make it at this level. This is a bad pick. Because they know those guys. The NFL people, they basically talked to them at the Senior Bowl and the NFL Combine. They don't have that relationship, and they're viewing it from an NFL personnel standpoint. So you do get 2 different broadcasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want positive, ESPN Game Day Crew is probably the way to go there.
Yeah, but Saban made a point, back to the Penix situation in Atlanta is this is the way it was, everybody used to do it. You draft a young quarterback, he didn't have to play. Even Patrick Mahomes waited behind Alex Smith till he got a little bit more seasoned. The guys who succeed waited. I mean, it was Drew Bledsoe before Tom Brady. Tom Brady was never supposed to be what he turned into. That you're not supposed to draft these guys and throw them to the wolves. Basically the way Bo Nix is going to get drafted and thrown out there in Denver.
But, I brought this up at our draft coverage last night at Twin Peaks. Penix is really going to succeed if he goes to the right situation. And I thought the right situation would be maybe an LA Rams where Stafford plays 1 more year and then Penix is ready. One of the reasons you drafted Penix and Bo is because of their experience.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I mean, they're both older rookies. They played a lot of games. Yeah. That's a great point. The Falcons have a lot of perimeter talent.
No, they don't. Everybody's like, go get him another weapon. Like Kirk Cousins doesn't need another weapon.
No.
They needed to fix defense.
That's
their
it.
problem.
They needed perimeter help on the defense.
Yeah.
They needed closers on the edge.
Kirk Cousins is going to have to score a ton of points this year. Because
Dallas
they're not addressing
Turner
defense.
made so much sense for the Falcons. I know he dropped. He seems like he is going to be a value where he ended up.
Yeah.
But
Looked really pissed off.
Oh, really
Which, by the way,
pissed.
pissed off Dallas Turner is usually a really good Dallas Turner.
But you just wonder how much that cost him. If he would have, because a lot of people believed he was going to go 8, and there was a lot of edge guys that went before him. But for Dallas Turner to fall from 8 all the way down, where did he end up going? 17th to Minnesota. It's a good spot, by the way.
Great spot.
But how much money did that cost him?
Cost him.
Oh, it cost him a lot of money, but
there is a price tag.
You may go tear it up. You'll make that money up in contract number 2. Don't worry.
Jacob and some others are talking about this. Listen, Kirk Cousins is an older guy, and he's only got so many years. 2 years of guaranteed money. You know, this may work out perfectly for the Falcons. Yahoo Sports gave it an F on the pick. I don't know if it's an F. The Athletic gave it a C. That seems to be a bailout. I mean, give me an opinion. C is like, give me a C.
Penix is an A, but I'm just talking about the Falcons. This is not a need. I think it hurts Penix, and I think it hurts the Falcons. It hurts Kirk Cousins.
But 2 years from now, if we're like, who was impressive as heck the second half of the season?
It was Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Yeah.
And what'd he do? He sat and waited.
But it was a
He did,
little
but it's a
bit
different situation.
That was a
Like,
project.
That was a contending team. The Falcons are not a contending team.
I think
have
they
other
are
needs.
with Kirk Cousins. I think they win that division with Kirk Cousins.
They're not a Super Bowl contender with him.
They need help
They have other
defensively.
needs. That's
the
my
reason
point.
they
is
were
have
7
other
and 10
needs.
is because of the
their
defense.
Yeah. And if
And
San Francisco
Desmond
were doing this, like if San Francisco, like if for whatever reason Brock Purdy were 38 years old,
Well, their pick was just as questionable, by the way.
but my point is, if they were doing this, you'd be like, okay, I get it. Because they've got everything else they need. So now I've got my succession plan. The Falcons aren't that. They are not that.
I never
They
looked
needed
at
other
Green
things.
Bay of having all the parts either, but when they took Love, but it's as you've said all week long, it's a 50-50 proposition.
You remember how pissed Rodgers got, though, because they took Love and didn't get him a weapon.
And that's
our teams quickly. Forrester F. Okay.
Let's get to everything else. Indy Grand Prix of Alabama. Get some sponsors here. We're at Barber Motorsports Park. Later on today, Barber Motorsports Park will be out there. What time is the
3 to 4.
3 to 4 on the video platform today.
And the road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. It is the fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castro Nevis Dixon and Newgarden. They're going to put their skills to a test with one thing in mind, that is victory. Riley Green, country music superstar. A rare chance to see Riley Green around here. He will give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engines. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Mike Johnson will be with us from Atlanta, sports guy there now, longtime Alabama NFL player. He will talk to us with more on the Penix draft, the situation there. He poured him a nice stiff bourbon after that last night. Now, what were you about to say?
No, I was just going to say up and down for our teams up here, because I think Forrester, I thought it was bad. I think Chop Robinson is a reach for the Dolphins. I like Graham Barton a lot.
I do too. I like him a lot,
I like
too.
Jared Verse a lot.
Yep.
And obviously the Detroit Lions getting Terrion Arnold, that seems like a steal where he was. I saw people as high as 11th best overall player on the board.
Yeah, I would tell you about mine, which is always boring, but you got to have offensive linemen. And it's a guy that plays all 5 positions. I loved Verse. I really wanted if he fell to Tampa Bay and they'd gotten him, I would have loved that. I loved him.
Well, when the Jets passed on Brock Bowers, that was my favorite player in the draft, and that's who I wanted. Now, edge was a big need for the Rams, but I guess Antonio Pierce just said, okay, Michael Mayer, we took him in the second round last year, but I'm just going to take the best player available in the draft. That's what it's got to be. I don't know why you would take a tight end in the second round last year and then take one in the first round this year. The Raiders have a lot of needs.
A lot of needs. One of them was quarterback, and they were all gone by the time they picked at 13. 6 of them had already been picked. They were like,
well,
Gardner Minshew, here we go.
Can we draft a junior?
We can't get a quarterback.
Can we draft a junior or
Go ahead
sophomore?
and get whoever thinks best next
Yes,
year.
I'll take Carson back.
But Bowers goes there, and he's by far the best player on the board at that point. I mean, if you are going to end up being quote unquote not living up to expectations and or a bust, the Raiders are a good place to start with that.
I heard DJ this morning saying if Bowers wouldn't have gotten hurt at all last year, probably a top 5 guy, which is amazing for a tight end. Saban last night in the coverage said his most NFL-ready player right now, Brock Bowers. Mel Kiper said his most talented overall guy he believed was Brock Bowers. So him to fall to 13 is pretty crazy.
No, I didn't. No, I knew he played hurt at times last year. I didn't know he had played through the tightrope surgery.
Yeah.
Didn't do my homework on that enough because he did not look like the same caliber player that he was built up to be last year. We'll see how it pans out with him with the Raiders, but that's a shaky organization.
That's
that
the
he's
thing
with.
Saban praised him for, though, was like, he said, look, I had guys come to me all the time and say, I'm not 100%. He's like, nobody in the NFL is ever 100%. That's 17 games.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to play not 100%.
Yeah.
And he said, and he praised Brock Bowers for doing that. He said, that guy found his way back on the field.
To try to help his team.
Try to help his team.
Yeah,
as quick as
He started that earlier with Rome Odunze,
That's right.
who basically got a lung punctured on the road in Arizona. Because of that, couldn't fly back with the team, drove back and had a bye week and worked his way back, could have taken a week off, worked his way back and played against Oregon in that huge game that they had to have in last year's season.
The Odunze.
And Nick Saban says, NFL people eat that up
Yeah.
because that tells you you're going to help the organization.
That's why I thought Saban was so good. The Odunze, when he went in depth on that, when he went to the Brock Bowers and talked about the tightrope, and then Latham out of UCLA, who they said wasn't going to be able to play football anymore because of that neck injury. And then Saban went into it, hey, I had the same surgery. My neck is stronger than ever. I really don't have any fear for this kid.
Yeah, feels better now than it was before.
I mean, I thought Nick Saban was going to be talking more X's and O's. Guy was like a medical expert up there.
No, he'd
but
done his homework.
He was really good on X's and O's stuff too. He and Herb Street worked out really, really well. But let's get to the Bo Nix thing here before we get back to the Atlanta situation from Mike Johnson. Later on, Todd Fuhrman with us. Tom Luganbill starts the final hour. We will go live on the eve of the 40th Mullet Toss in the Floribama Lounge down to the beach. We'll go at 11:45 today. That's coming up a little bit later on. It's the eve of the 40th Mullet Toss. And and there was a moment this week I was going to drive down to experience because I've never really taken in a full mullet toss, the experience. And I got asked, he said, if you show up, you can be a celebrity judge of the bikini contest.
Oh, Steve told you that?
Yeah.
Why aren't you not doing it? Why are you here?
Well, it was going to be a day trip. I was going to do it tomorrow and then drive back tomorrow night.
Well, that seems silly.
And so then I ran it by the wife, leaving off the bikini contest thing.
You didn't bring that up?
Let's just do day trip down to the Floribama, enjoy the beach, the mullet toss, and any of the other festivities, and then we'll just drive back at night, have a nice dinner, and drive back at night. You can sleep, read, whatever you want to do. And I love to drive, listen to music. So let's just do that. Make a day trip. We used to do it all the time when we were younger. And she said no to that. And then I pushed a different angle. I was like, well, let's go down Friday night, get a hotel, and then bounce over the mullet toss and drive back Saturday night. And she's like, what's going on? And I said, well, I got asked to be celebrity judge of the bikini contest.
You know what we need?
And she said, oh, we ain't going to the Florida.
We need Maggie to talk to Kalen DeBoer and teach him how to say no. Because I reached out to Dunaway earlier today, and I was like, hey, do you want to go to this concert tonight? Let me run it by Maggie. No. Do you want to go to the Floribama tomorrow? No. So what are her plans? Do you have to stay in with the dogs this weekend? Like, what is she doing this weekend?
Oh, we're going to have a chill evening tonight. We don't know what we're doing tonight. It would probably
She's going to be like, get me another glass of wine.
Can I tell you the funniest line of the night to me in our group text? And there were some funny ones, especially when the Falcons drafted Penix, was after Tampa drafted the Duke center. And Little T responded to the text group, oh, one of Maggie's peers. She drafted one of
Maggie's classmate going to Jim's team.
One of Maggie's classmates.
Yeah.
Such a good line by Little T.
So Bo Nix quickly to the Broncos last night. I've been a Bo supporter since he left Pinson Valley. Never imagined he'd be a top 12 draft pick. He actually, history will show, Bo Nix goes before Brock Bowers in the NFL.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it wasn't a surprise just based on what you had heard coming out of Denver. You know, for them to go out and to get Zach Wilson, though, and you've got Jared Stidham. What blows me away is I don't believe anything Sean Payton says. Now, have you guys seen the report from Adam Schefter where Payton said in the 2000 and
Oh, Schefter.
17 or 18 draft with Patrick Mahomes. That Sean Payton had the card ready.
With Patrick Mahomes.
And they jumped, the Kansas City Chiefs jumped one spot, traded up in front of New Orleans, and took Mahomes. And he thought Mahomes was going to be this generational quarterback, and he said, I wasn't going to miss on Bo Nix because I've got Bo Nix right there with Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Those are comments out of Sean Payton's mouth.
Yep. Also, Broncos center Alex Forsyth was the center at Oregon, Bo's first year at Oregon. And he went to Peyton and said, this guy is smart, knows every protection, handles it all at the line of scrimmage, and had universal respect of the entire team in the locker room. That was what he said. So we'll jump into that. We'll hear from Bo and all of that. But congratulations to a local kid going 12th overall, a record-tying 6 quarterbacks in the first round. 41 years in the making. Last time this happened, 1983. You had Hall of Famers in Elway first, Kelly 14th, Marino 27th. You had guys with varying success in Blackledge 7th, Tony Eason 15th, and Ken O'Brien 24th. And 6 more quarterbacks went last night. So unbelievable night in the NFL draft. We will talk more about it with Mike Johnson, and throughout the show, your reaction as well. We've got reaction from Bo, Terrion, Dallas, everyone coming up throughout the show. Sit back and enjoy. This is being brought to you today by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Our friends at UCA, man, just such great folks. And the reason they started teaming up with us is just they wanted to get the word out about all of you guys out there that are watching and listening to us right now, managing your health a little bit better. We all agree that us guys sometimes put our health on the back burner, don't go to the doctor, don't get checkups like we should. Urology Centers of Alabama wants to remind you they've got 16 locations. Early detection in anything is always an advantage. 205-930-0920 to schedule an appointment, or just go to urologycentersalabama.com. 16 locations near you. urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor. This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new Chicken Bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mama Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Mike Johnson in a second. He'll join us from Atlanta, and we'll talk to him about the craziness in the draft last night. The show being brought to you also by our friends at Precision Sports Medicine, getting you back in the game. Just before I tell you about Precision Sports Medicine, just some injuries. You mentioned Penix Jr. Has had a ACL tear in each. Brock Bowers, fought through last year. The tightrope surgery to continue to play for the Georgia Bulldogs, try to win them a third straight national championship. Udeze battled through the punctured lung. Precision Sports Medicine, whatever happens in your life, they'll get you back into the game. All you have to do is call that number, 205-512-3885, to set up an appointment or get some advice. Go to precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, part of the Brookwood Baptist Health family there. Orthopedic care better together. Whether you tweak your back on a 9-foot goal in the driveway with the kids, or maybe you're out pickleballing and trying to be the best pickleballer there is in the world, get back at what you love doing with our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
I will give former Alabama great, Atlanta Falcon, and now media star in Atlanta, Mike Johnson, credit. He's not running from his fandom today. He's still got the Dirty Bird gear on, even after a weird night in the draft. First of all, Mike, it's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm surviving. As you guys can imagine, the phone lines were absolutely in flames all morning over here in Atlanta. So we're listen. I'm still digesting everything from last night, man. But I'm doing good. I appreciate y'all having me back on.
I would assume you thought one of your former, Alabama guys and Dallas Turner was probably going to be that guy. I mean, the Falcons needed help on the edge. There were a lot of projections that said Dallas Turner would be that guy. He ultimately drops down to Minnesota, which is a great landing spot for him. But when you saw Michael Penix, when Roger Goodell just read that name, what was your initial reaction?
Yeah, you guys know what was funny? Around the station, what we did is we drew rounds to put reaction videos out. All the hosts were like, hey, what round am I going to get? And I was like, I got the first round pick. It was like, hey, you're going to make a first round reaction video. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, slam dunk. Dallas Turner, probably, maybe, Latu. I don't know. Something really cool. Something, not to quote Will Ferrell, but maybe something really cool we don't even know about yet. The Penix pick comes out, and I tweeted the video out. I was dumbfounded. I mean, I was legitimately dumbfounded. Not in history have we seen a quarterback get paid in free agency and then have another quarterback drafted in the top 10. We've seen successors, right? We've seen guys that have come along and overtaken placeholders, but Penix at 8, when you really, honestly, I thought they were going to trade back. I'm like, you're in a good spot. There's a lot of people that need quarterbacks. You can trade with the Raiders, the Vikings, wherever it may be. And they didn't do that. So dumbfounded is the word I've been going with today, and just still a little bit shocked. I'm trying. Guys, I am a positive person, trying so hard to come around to this, but I still have so many questions that I'm trying to figure out.
I think there is some positive to it, but you probably could have traded back, like you said, and still gotten Michael Penix, even if you wanted to take him at 10 or 11 or 13 or 14. But we've seen now, big picture here, success of, and Nick Saban talked about this on the broadcast, of guys coming in like, Favre had Rodgers had Love. There was a time Patrick Mahomes came in, he said. There is a scenario where for 2 years it's Cousins, guaranteed money's gone, and then it's Michael Penix Jr. Now he'll be 26. Nothing wrong with 26. I wish I was 26 again. He'd be an older starter, but there is history that this can work, right? I mean, they can work.
It can, and I'm with you. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. I will say that the Packers draft Jordan Love coming off a 13-3 season. Guys, the Falcons haven't been in the playoffs in over 6 years. It's a different scenario. We had people calling this morning. I've been getting interaction on social saying a lot of the same things, and I get that. But this is a team with needs. This is a team who is about to have to pay A.J. Terrell. You have needs at corner. You lost guys in free agency. You didn't sign back Bud Dupree. You don't have a next-level pass rusher. You're going to go into the year right now with Arnold Ebiketie, who got, 4 sacks last year, as your primary guy rushing the passer. You also lost Ryan Nielsen on defense as a defensive coordinator. That was unbelievable. That did a great job with that defense. You also don't have Calais Campbell. So that's my thing. It hasn't been a knock on Michael Penix or the succession plan. I think backup quarterbacks, guys, are more valuable than they've ever been in the NFL. So that case can be made as well. But you still have so many holes defensively that you would think at a number 8 pick that you could plug in right away and be a difference maker. And that's not what we have. We have a quarterback who, under a best case scenario, we won't even see till 2026, 2027. So I'm with you, man. I'm trying. Hey, the succession, the Mahomes, the generational. I'm trying. I'm trying to get there. But
here's your silver lining, man. The good news is there's only 12 defensive guys off the board right now. They're still all out there for the Falcons.
Point. Yeah,
it's a great point. It honestly made me feel a little bit better that Dallas slipped a little bit, because I was like, okay, maybe everybody saw something that I didn't see when he gets back to 17. But yeah, you're right, man. There's still Kool-Aid's still out there. There's still a number of guys that'll be looked at in this second round that are still good players. So we'll see what happens.
So, Mike, you see here, I'm a huge Rams guy. So I love Raheem Morris. I thought he was a great defense coordinator. Him as a head coach, incomplete. We're not good in Tampa. We'll see what he does at Atlanta. But ultimately, how involved was he on the selection of Michael Penix Jr.?
From what I am hearing, it was a huge amount. Loved his personality, and we actually had Coach DeBoer on earlier today over here on 92.9 The Game, and he talked a little bit about the personality behind Michael Penix. And I think the personality really matched up with Raheem. I think this was 51% Terry Fontenot, the GM, and 49% Raheem. But I think Zach Robinson, you want to talk about the Rams, I think Zach Robinson had a huge hand in Michael Penix. And to be honest with y'all, when I heard that they were going out to work out Michael Penix and Raheem Morris and this whole contingent, I thought it was a smokescreen. And I thought you're going to look at taking Rome Odunze or maybe one of the other wide receivers in the second round. I was like, look, Michael Penix has to throw to somebody in this private workout. This is a smokescreen. They're trying to create value for the 8th pick. But listen, when you hear some guys that I've talked to that know Raheem and know what Raheem's all about, I think it's massive for him to have that succession plan and that long-term plan. And it sounds like both of those guys, Terry and Raheem, fell in love with the person and the player that Michael Penix is. So I think Raheem was very, very heavy-handed in this decision.
Mike Johnson is with us. You can follow Mike on Twitter if you would like, at MPJohnson79, at MPJohnson79. Not only a former Alabama great, Falcons Radio Network, 92.9 The Game there in Atlanta. But let's put yourself back in that locker room and be a veteran again and know that Kirk Cousins I think you're probably the best team in that division with Kirk Cousins. So now you're in the playoffs, and you know what could be the difference in advancing in the playoffs and not is a good defensive player that you draft in the first round. If I'm a veteran in that locker room, Mike, how hard is it for me to wrap my arms around this and smile about it?
Well, first of all, you talk about putting myself back in that locker room. If I'm back in that locker room, I'm just happy they didn't draft an offensive lineman. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Good point. Yeah.
I was never in that scenario, but I think it's tough. I think a lot of times when you're in those shoes, guys, you try your best to trust the people in charge. You trust the coaches. I think it's going to be harder to swallow for Kirk Cousins than any of the the actual vets on the team. And I think you got to remember, guys, this is a team that went 7-10. Honestly, it should have been flipped at 10-7. You should have beat the Bears down the stretch. You should have never lost to Carolina Panthers in December. You should have never lost to Josh Dobbs and the Vikings for the love. Will Levis making his first start for the Tennessee Titans beats you. Kyler Murray, his first start back off the IR beats you. But in a number of those games, one sack on the quarterback could have made all the difference. If you sack Josh Dobbs in the fourth quarter on a 3rd and long, the game's over with. If you sack Kyler Murray, the game's over with. Will Levis, a lot of the same things. I think that's the hardest part. You thought you were going to get help at edge. You thought you were going to get a surefire guy to help you and make those game-clinching sacks and plays, and you didn't get it. Now, on the flip side, if you do make those plays and Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell do wrap up, Arthur Smith's probably still in town, right? I mean, Desmond Ridder might still be here. So it's a double-edged sword. I think these guys in the locker room will do a good job, and the guys that we've heard from already, A.J. Terrell and some of those other guys, they're being excited. Kyle Pitts, they're excited. But I think everybody's still kind of scratching their head just a little bit and waiting to see how this all plays out.
You know Nick Saban pretty well. He was fantastic on the TV set last night, talking NFL. When does he start getting the itch? I mean, he was talking so much ball last night. He's enjoyed playing golf. It has to be hard for him sitting there talking football and knowing that he's not still coaching.
Yeah, you know what? I coached high school ball for a few years over here in Georgia, and I'll never forget one year we had Paul Johnson come in and talk to our staff and kind of game plan. And we were running a little bit of, kind of option, triple option stuff, the veer stuff that Paul Johnson's so good at. And I kind of asked Paul Johnson, I was like, you, how often do you do this? And he was literally like, any chance I get, I will come in. He was like, if y'all called me tomorrow and said, hey, coach, come back, we need to sit down for 10 hours, I would do it. And that's the vibe I got from Nick Saban last night. It was almost like he was itching to get back and talk a little ball. Like, I just picture him in my head, guys, just he's at the Malmore Athletic Facility, and he's kind of walking circles around the lobby just waiting on Kalen DeBoer to be like, hey, coach. And he's like, oh, what do you mean? I think, listen, it's the guy will forget more football than, thousands of people will ever know in his life. And I think when you get to that stage, you love to share it. But I think he's just a coach at heart, right? Even if that is coaching other coaches or coaching the fans on what they should look for, I think he's a coach at heart. I enjoyed the heck out of listening to him last night. I thought he was great.
Me too.
Former Alabama Falcons great Mike Johnson, 92.9 The Game, Falcons Radio Network's where you get him. Mike, thank you very much for the time. Good to see you. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys. You have a good one, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Take care. Mike with us on the Johnston RVCenter.com hotline. Quickly, I'll say about Saban. If you're going to be on that game day set and you think you're just going to get by doing generalities about these players and teams they're talking about, you're going to stand out because that guy is clearly going to do his homework.
Yeah, and Herbstreit does too. And he and Herbstreit were so good together, and Reese is a great host, and Desmond's a nice guy. And
wow.
There's just no need for that many on the desk.
I'm just saying that to Brown's point,
Yeah.
Herbstreit and Saban have a special relationship, and I think Herbstreit knows his stuff. And he has a stack of notes in front of him, too, which I do, too.
I think he's spread very thin right now, though, and that's his danger.
And then Nick came in really prepared, and Reese is one of the best in the business at hosting. And Reese intentionally, as a TV guy, I would notice that after they would go on one of their football discussions, Reese would do what you have to do in his situation. He would physically turn to Desmond and bring Desmond back into the conversation.
Desmond, say something.
It happened. Yep. It happened 1,000 times. There's 4 of us up here.
Yep.
And Phil Yates isn't standing by for me to toss to right now. And if I let these two keep going, you're not going to get a word in here.
Yep.
So I'm going to turn back around and I'm going to ask you something that I'm going to bring you back into the conversation. And hats off to Reese to continue to do that. But those two, when they started talking about, about how a speed rush is one thing, but I think it was your guy Chop. Chop's he's good on the speed rush, but he's got to develop. And Herbstreit was like,
he's got to turn speed into power.
Speed into power.
That's
and
right.
Herbstreit was like, wow,
explain that to me.
If you can do that, explain it to me. Then, well, how many people, if you do that, or you're in the first round? And Saban's like, actually, we teach everybody at Alabama. It's the first thing we teach you. You got to be able to rush 3 different ways.
That's right.
And
the insight was incredible.
And he was actually saying, I don't think this guy has that yet, and he's got to develop that, or he's not going to be effective in this league.
Yeah.
And, to Brown's point, LT's point, thinking that maybe they reached on this guy. Not that he can't do it. He just wasn't taught that yet at Penn State.
Yeah.
Or hasn't developed that yet. When he develops that, he'll be a different player.
I love James Franklin was hanging on at the Chop Robinson watch party.
I got my first rounder.
First one in the camera for the hug. I think he beat mom and dad in. I think he beat mom and dad in.
And then desperation from Dabo. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, the Dabo Sweeney story after you tell us about our friends at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, look, the weekend is here. Knock off work a little early. There's some day baseball. Get into Will Haver and that incredible staff. The original location in Crestline, the newest location in Edgewood, right there on the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Rodney Davis has been serving incredible food for more than 33 years. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches and salads. Stop into one of those 2 locations. Ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. Get in and see Will Haver and those great staffs. 2 locations, Odie's Tavern.
Now you're going to dog Dabo for doing this, I know. But he's texting the Ravens multiple times, according to reports, encouraging them to draft their guy, his guy from Clemson. And they end up drafting him. So what did Dabo do wrong in your opinion?
No, it just seems like, oh my God, like Clemson is so irrelevant now in college football. We've got to have a first-round guy go. I don't want my man Nate to drop out of the first round. Like I talked about Nate's upside and speed last night on our draft show. And for him going to the Ravens, like I would feel so good if I'm Nate's family, because the Ravens get it right.
That's right.
All the time. So look, it's great for him. It just seemed like Dabo always wanting to be in the news, front and center, running down the hill faster than his players. And please, and I guess it's part of what you got to do. Look, Clemson
fighting for his guy.
I mean,
I got no problem with
guy.
this. Yeah, I know you don't like Dabo, but I mean, this is him fighting for. This is if that's my son. I think God Dabo did that for him. I also don't think it impacted the Ravens at all. That is, you guys think that?
No,
not at all.
That's one of the best franchises in all of football, with some of the smartest football people.
That's
led
why
by Ozzie Newsome.
That's why I don't think Dabo needed to do it.
I mean, Ozzie's retired, and did you see him sitting there in the room and Nick Saban talking about trying to get Ozzie to tip off who he was going to pick or who they were going to pick? I mean, Ozzie's still involved with this group. He's one of the smartest football people of all time. Dabo Sweeney didn't affect that.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate Dabo going to bat for his guy, but Baltimore was going to draft him or not.
There are several front office guys who are really, really important to the front offices of their organizations who learned what they do for a living from Ozzie Newsome.
There's no doubt. He's impacted the draft game as much as anybody.
Yeah. And he's impacted guys like Daniel Jeremiah and people like that. Phil Savage and it's just
Jim Nagy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Yes.
So Ozzie knows what he's doing, and he's still there because those are his guys in his organization.
Well, Eric DeCosta is a well-respected general manager. I've just never heard, and I'm sure it happens, I'm just a little surprised it's public that it comes out that Dabo was texting, please, I don't know where please take my guy.
Where do you think that came from?
To Lance's point, I wouldn't surprise me if it came from Clemson's end, just to show that Dabo's. I mean, that's recruiting.
Yeah, it's going to fight for your guy.
I'm going to fight for your guy to get you in the league. I mean, that's recruiting.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that Baltimore would have leaked it because it kind of makes them look like, okay, well, we drafted him because Dabo twisted our arm, you know.
Yeah, because, I mean, they take, this is after Terrion, so they basically take him, I guess, over Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid's the next guy up.
I mean, he's the top available DB.
Cooper DeJean. I mean, those are your two corners.
One of those two.
Yeah, so obviously the Ravens liked Wiggins better than Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it was all about top-end speed.
Yeah.
And, I just think it's unneeded. Like, after the fact, if Dabo, tweets out, you guys got an absolute steal this late in the draft. Or this late in the first round.
Well, for the record, it didn't come from Dabo, but it wouldn't surprise me if somebody at Clemson, maybe through Dabo, said, hey, let's get that out there. Show I'm going to fight for you. Absolutely.
You know the best decision we made yesterday?
What would that be?
Not sending one of us to the Kool-Aid watch party.
We'd still be sitting down there.
Dude,
right?
I've done that before. I can't remember which one.
I bet it was the basketball player, Winston Kennedy. At Baumhauer's.
Oh, my
It may have been. It may have been.
I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah,
But
because
I've
he
been
had
to
the
a
big
couple of
watch
them.
party and never got drafted in 2 rounds in the NBA, remember?
Yeah, and but I've been to those. I've been to football ones before.
How awkward is it?
It's, I mean, because, when.
It's sad is what it is.
It is. You've got all the projections. And when you get past the lowest one of your projections, then you start to feel the tension in the room. And where it really gets uncomfortable is when the player gets up and goes to another room.
Yeah.
My thing.
I can't remember where I was. I think I was in somewhere near. Jess Lanier used to be in Bessemer, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was a Jess Lanier player back in the day, or somewhere in that area that the kid got in the car and drove away for a little bit.
Oh, dear.
I remember
he
the
went for a
Kennedy
ride. He
Winston
went for a ride around
pretty well.
You at the Kennedy Winston one?
No.
Oh,
I just
okay.
remember covering it, like talking about it
because it was a Bob Howard
day after. My thing is Kool-Aid. There was a chance he wasn't going to get drafted, so that is so risky to put that together.
But what if he does get drafted?
Oh, it's
you
awesome.
never have that moment.
But you just hate it for his family because it is so awkward and it's embarrassing for him.
The flip side of it is Chop Robinson, who my Dolphins took. There's no guarantee he was going to be in the first round either, right? More than Kool-Aid, probably. There's far from a guarantee. Cooper DeJean, you mentioned, I bet he had a watch party, and he didn't get drafted.
I mean, Bo Nix had a huge party.
I know. God,
they got tipped off. They knew they were going.
They
knew.
I'm really surprised J.J. McCarthy was not in Detroit.
They knew.
I am too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just down the road. He was just down the road.
I don't know the whole story there, but
I know we used to have bigger green rooms.
Well, they only had 13 in the green room. I was explaining that to
3
Jennifer.
of them from Alabama.
And Jennifer's like, well, how do they pick? And I'm like, well, I think they pick the people they're pretty sure are going to get drafted because they don't want the Aaron Rodgers moment where the story becomes the guy that's still in the green room.
It's fantastic TV.
Yeah, but the NFL doesn't think it is. The NFL wants you focused on the guys that are getting drafted.
You know what I think the problem is?
What?
I think they invite too many family members.
Oh, Laura Rutledge. That's the other thing. Okay, I want to get to that.
Coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you by the golf card that you can get right now. I'm going to go to one of our courses tomorrow.
Let me guess which one.
Since I can't go to the Floribama and judge a bikini contest.
Are you caddying for Maggie?
Since I can't go to the Floribama and judge and Miss Mullet or whatever they call it.
Yeah, little Miss Mullet.
Yeah.
She sat on a toilet.
I'm going to throw on my thong and go up there and hit a golf ball at Limestone Springs.
You're going to Limestone tomorrow?
Yeah.
Their greens are fantastic.
No, my buddies played the last Saturday.
18 holes of golf and cart at these courses: Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, the Meadows, and the historic newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. We've played at Woodward a good bit. Fun course, too. Urology Centers of Alabama sponsors the card. Those 4 courses, 18 holes and cart for just $99. That's a $247 value for just $99. The next round deluxe golf cards, $119. All 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive next round golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. 0 restrictions on this. The card is good through October 2024. Supplies are limited, though, so get your golf card now. Nextround.store. That is nextround.store.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by Amherst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. How about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Todd Fuhrman coming up at the top of the hour. More on the draft right now, but if you missed it early on, official now, Rylan Griffin off to Kansas. That had been the plan all along. No shock to Nate Oates' staff. Early reaction to that?
Not surprising. Look, I mean, if he shoots the way he shot in the back half of the season, he's a weapon for Kansas. I mean, good for him. That's a great program. I'm like you. I've always liked Rylan Griffin, and what an opportunity to play for a blue blood in Kansas.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but I like his game, and he was very nice to Little T and I as we followed him all the way to the Final Four. Good luck to him as he goes and plays for Kansas and Bill Self there. You were saying before I interrupted you about the Laura Rutledge in the green room. I'll get more of that and more NFL draft reaction that Forrester's put together after I tell you about my man Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. It's that time of year where maybe you want to get on the roof, not you, somebody else on the roof, and just find out what condition your roof's in. I mean, when's your roof going to age out? Eventually they do that. What do you get on a good roof? 10, 12 years?
I mean, it depends.
Yeah.
You get a hailstorm, you get a year.
Yeah, you never know, right? That's why you need Greg from Pell City up on that roof for an absolutely free, no-cost roof inspection. Storm Restoration Roofing. That man by the black truck will get up there. He's got sons-in-laws, people that are dating his daughters that are part of his crew, his local crew. Man, I love that they're so local. They've been locally owned for over 20 years. They got a track record here. And that's so important. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Let Greg get on your roof and give you that free no-cost roof inspection. He'll be honest with you. You can check our chat, man. He's worked with so many people who watch our show. Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. Or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. You were saying.
Okay, so the draft is complicated. We have first of all, we got so many contributors from our show that are spread around. I like to try to support them all. Like Lance said, Klatt and DJ.
Right.
Do actual shows with us. So I like to try to, support them on the NFL Network. And I think DJ is the smartest draft guy out there. I am biased in that, but that is my belief. He's the smartest draft guy out there.
I don't disagree with you.
One of the best quotes after Bo Nix went off the board, he said, as Rambo said to his colonel, they're all gone, sir.
That's a good line.
That's a great line.
Yes. Orlovsky comes on our show all the time. Dan's a regular with us during the NFL season. Wanted to support him on ESPN, so I'm bouncing around. But last night I was genuinely interested in how Nick Saban did. It was his first appearance on game day, and I really wanted to watch that to see how he did. And I got intrigued, as we've talked about, with his breakdowns and things like that. But God bless Laura Rutledge. Like, her assignment was just interview family members, just one family member after another. And they were awful interviews. The vast majority of them were just awful interviews.
They were not the most talkative group of parents I've ever seen.
No, they're just bad interviews. I mean, God bless them. That's not what they do. They might be a banker or a steel worker or a teacher, but they don't do interviews.
But vet that before. There's no reason to get somebody on if you don't know how the interview is going to be.
I did Twitter Live last night, and
that'd be like us going to Auburn and sitting down with some
equestrian coach.
Yeah.
And I made a point. I said, they probably did talk to him in advance, and they were probably very personable. But when they're getting interviewed, what's going on at that point is I'm watching my son,
that's right,
or my grandson, or my nephew walk out, and he's shaking hands with the commissioner, and he's doing all this stuff. I sort of want to watch that.
Yeah,
but now I'm being interviewed.
I know. And we've seen this a lot, though. Like, people are fine. They're good personalities. We do this for a living. Doesn't it impact us at all? You stick a microphone in their face, they're a different person. I laughed out loud.
Out loud.
Out loud.
Out loud.
At Thomas's mom, Brian Thomas, the wide receiver from LSU. She interviews the dad, and he's very emotional. And Laura says, how far has this family come? And the mom says, we came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I laughed out loud.
Like
my wife was upstairs. She came downstairs. What was so funny in the NFL draft?
Like we're at the VFW, and it's like, all right, you guys know we do this every Saturday night. Who came from over 50 miles away?
No, I mean, it was like Miss Congeniality. I can't believe I quoted this movie twice this week. But when they asked, it was like, Miss Delaware, what's your idea of a perfect date? And she was like, April 27th, because it's cool enough at night where you can wear a light sweater. Yeah. I mean, that was the answer you got last night.
And like Laura Rutledge, a true pro, it was like, okay, I mean, that is not a falsehood. They did come from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
In our text thread, that's what I put.
Yeah,
facts.
It
was facts.
But it was such a funny line and so well delivered by the lady. Yeah. And then you had the grandma. Now, I will say they're awful interviews, but when the grandma, I think, was a little bit confused. Did you see that one? The kid that went to Arizona.
I just want to go somewhere warm.
Detroit's nice, but it's cold.
Detroit's nice.
Your son's actually going to Arizona. He doesn't have to play here.
Yeah, thank God. Yes. I just want to go somewhere warm. You get to go. She went back to that 2 or 3 times, Laura did.
Yeah. You're going to Arizona now.
Just get to go somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Fuhrman coming up at the top of the hour. We'll get to him. Some visits happening this weekend. Ryland Griffin, we told you he's off to Kansas. I assume, has anyone seen the Rutgers kid? Is Clifford Omaruri still coming in?
The chat room said he'd never leave Tuscaloosa.
It's been off and on all week whether he's coming or not. Hopefully he still makes it in if you're a Bama basketball person. On the football side, you're getting Ed Woods visiting Alabama this weekend. And news to keep an eye on. South Alabama linebackers, it was a stud last year in the Sun Belt. Khalil Jacobs, 56 tackles, 8.5 for a loss. Linebacker hit the portal today. And Alabama, obviously, with his former head coach and now defensive coordinator, is one to keep an eye on there. A little linebacker depth there for Khalil Jacobs.
Yeah, but speaking of portal, did you hear Saban about the Toledo defensive back? Were you watching that?
Yeah.
That's a little bit awkward.
That's Quinyon Mitchell, right?
Quinyon Mitchell. Did you hear that, Lance? He goes, this is a guy last year, man. We had him number 1 in the portal.
Number 1, we wanted to get out of the portal.
If we could ever get him in the portal, we just couldn't get him in the portal.
Yeah. He was our number 1 guy we were going to get out of the portal.
Which is really shocking.
And Saban said, problem was he never got in the portal.
Never got in the portal. Yeah, we couldn't get him in the portal.
But, they did a big story on Mitchell, ESPN.com did last week, and talking about this is going to be so rare. You're not going to see guys like Mitchell that are so coveted. Like Nick Saban said, stay at a place like Toledo. I am really shocked that money wasn't able to get him out.
I know, because if he was
had to get him in. They would have gotten him out if he'd gotten in the portal.
But I mean, why could you not? I mean, I'm talking about, we know that people.
No, I think Chase P, that shows that Alabama doesn't cheat.
Done away.
I mean, they couldn't get him in the portal, so obviously they weren't offering him any money.
I mean,
people were tampering.
I don't know that.
I mean, I feel like I'm not saying Alabama, but because the guy was so coveted, I'm sure someone.
If Alabama had him number 1 on their board, how many people had him number 1 on their board?
I object. That is circumstantial evidence. Move to strike. Move to strike. Hey, the show being brought to you by friends at Hemphill Services. Tell us about Hemphill.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemphill Services. Tell them the next round sent you. HemphillServices.com for more information.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Forrester's got a ton of sound for us. We're going to get to that, including the awkwardness of the Falcons explaining what they did last night. Mike Johnson was on the show earlier. You can go back and get that wherever you get our podcasts, including always on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify, and at the Next Round app. Download that. Next Round Live there. Show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop, man. Weekend's here. You were going by there last night, late night.
Yeah, I did. Went and saw Jim last night, the 119 location in Greystone. Picked up what ended up being just delicious, this chicken, rice, and mushroom dish. It was absolutely fantastic. Young Jack loved it. Just great stuff from the New York Butcher Shop. Stop in, see Jim, all the fine folks there. There are 2 locations for you. The one I was at, 119, the original in Cahaba Heights, fresh meats, specialty items. They've got a great selection of fine wines and desserts. Stop in, rare quality, well-done service, the New York Butcher Shop.
All right, Todd Fuhrman is with us, bettheboardpodcast.com, bettheboardpodcast.com. I don't even know how to ask this question, but how much money, Fuhrman, could I have made on Michael Penix going to the Falcons?
Prices widely fluctuated right around 20 to 25 to 1, so a little bit of surprise to say the least, but not even the biggest of what we saw in the first 15 picks. If you believe that the Raiders would use a top draft pick to pick a tight end for the second straight season, 60 to 1 the going rate on the Raiders' first pick in the draft being a tight end. So there were some money-making opportunities with those 2 of the bigger surprises given the way the draft fell over the first 15 picks.
All right, Fuhrman, I hate laying that big number, but I told everybody over 4.5 quarterbacks is a lock. Now, when I told people that it was minus 340, it got as high as minus 500. How many people risked the big number and took the over 4.5 quarterbacks?
You started to see some money come that way, but the bigger play there was all about Bo Nix and his under. That's the one that really took some serious money. Didn't move as much on the screen in some of the forward-facing books, but a lot of the betting groups doing everything they could to bet his draft position under 32.5, thinking that was going to be the key cog. Michael Penix was kind of the outlier in all of that. I don't think a lot of people had him penciled in, not necessarily going that high, but weren't sure where he was going to fall. So you had a combination of factors, and that's the one thing with the draft. When you can identify 1 to 2 players and where they may go, it allows a number of other dominoes to fall into line and create some upside and opportunity. On the flip side, to the quarterbacks going over the total, I think the one that dealt a blow to a lot of folks that laid a substantial price to go under was wide receivers at 6.5. It took the 49ers at pick 31, taking Ricky Pearsall out of Florida, and of course Carolina trading from 33 to 32 to take a wide receiver as well. So have to imagine there were a lot of folks sitting pretty at under 6.5 when you get to pick 31, only to see wide receiver go back to back.
I think I'm correct about this. That was the last 2 picks of the first round, and neither one of those guys were first team All-SEC.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's pretty crazy.
It's wild when you look at it and some of the depth, and you try and figure out what the NFL draft scouts see compared to what these guys are contributing at the college level, almost along the same lines as Nick Saban's, I don't know if I call it criticism, but his characterization talking about Amarius Mims and some of the reservations he had about him being a first-round draft pick as well.
That was the nicest hatchet job I'd ever seen in my life. That was like smiling and apologizing for every cut he made. He was wiping the blood off of you as he was cutting you up. I want to ask you, which team do you think changed their win total the most in the first round? Was it the Bears? Because, I mean, the Bears addressed quarterback, and then they got a playmaker. I mean, I loved the Bears last night.
Yeah, I'm not sure it changed their win total a ton because everyone already had Caleb Williams being their starting quarterback built into that equation. And when you look at the way the draft was going to set up over the first top 10, it was just a question of how the Bears would go about it. Did they want to bring in a receiver? And when you look at the Bears depth chart at the receiver position, I mean, Roan comes in and he'll be a third receiver most likely behind DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, at least right now. Keenan Allen, of course, on a much shorter term deal in terms of what remains there. So it's a Bears team that looks to be a little bit more dynamic offensively than they would have been before. But it's always interesting because when you look at some of these players that are available, more often than not, in some of the mocks they're built into the win totals, I think if any team really helped their offensive prospects for the 2024 season, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. And they get the pick from the Buffalo Bills, who had been doing everything they can to bridge the gap and get closer to AFC supremacy. And now suddenly you give Xavier Worthy a chance to operate on the outside for a Chiefs offense that added Hollywood Brown this offseason. And suddenly when you look at the speed, potentially at the receiver position, barring a suspension to Rashee Rice, that receiving core looks a heck of a lot more dynamic on paper than what it did before.
Well, if you're the Bills trying to bridge a gap, Brown, sometimes you get so frustrated you just blow up the damn bridge.
I guess so. The reaction is that the Chiefs got their Tyreek Hill back. And that feels like a bit of an overstatement for Xavier. I know he can fly, but Tyreek Hill does a lot of things.
True. I mean, it's always tough to replace that kind of talent on the field, given how explosive Tyreek is. I have to imagine, though, reading the characterizations and the scouting reports, that Xavier Worthy may be a better locker room guy and a better overall person than what the Chiefs and now the Dolphins have in Tyreek Hill, though.
No, I'll keep that person. Don't worry.
Drive by.
No, I'll keep that locker room person.
Fuhrman, there's still a lot of guys that thought they were going to go last night. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jazane Newton out of Illinois, Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Have they A.D. Mitchell out of Texas? Have they reset the market on who will be the favorite to go off the board first tonight?
You know, a lot of books, they'll hang their draft props and they'll kind of keep some of those numbers there. They won't necessarily readjust them other than creating some unique opportunities that are there. So when you're looking for some of those marquee players that are out there, Cooper DeJean, to be a second-round pick is a favorite right now. But what's interesting, if you believe that the Green Bay Packers, who were connected to him as potentially a first-round match, that price is right around 5-1. Spencer Rattler to be drafted in the second round, a price tag right now widely available of plus 180. Blake Corum to be a second-round draft pick at 3-1. And the one position that we haven't seen mentioned at all was the running back spot. But you did start to see money coming in the 48 hours leading up to the draft with Jonathan Brooks separating himself from Trey Benson in that particular market. Brooks had moved into that minus $1.20 range, so we'll see if the talented running back from Texas, recovering from that lower body injury, will be the first running back selected in this year's draft.
Do you believe the Chargers were really shopping just Herbert at some point?
So we had heard rumblings of that about 6 or 8 weeks ago, and the Vikings were one team that was connected. Now, the Chargers shooting it down and saying, no, we were never serious about it. You don't necessarily know what to believe, but there were overtures from Minnesota potentially figuring out what the package would look like, if it was going to be 2 first-round picks and then maybe a Justin Jefferson. And it made sense, at least on the surface, if Jim Harbaugh was as serious as he's been with all of that praise around J.J. McCarthy. And if the Chargers don't believe they can win now with a quarterback on a massive deal like that, then you can kind of reset the clock a little bit. But it doesn't sound like it progressed all that far. Just interesting fodder, and no doubt would have been one of the more seismic moments that we would have talked about in the draft. And ironically enough, we'll see how the Vikings like life with J.J. McCarthy, who will probably get to sit this year behind Sam Darnold unless things go haywire.
Todd Fuhrman with us, bettheboardpodcast.com, bettheboardpodcast.com. At Todd Fuhrman on Twitter is where you find him. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. After seeing 2 or 3 games, depending on the series you were watching, is there an NBA series where you have started to doubt your handicapping?
I won't say you doubt the handicapping, but I think what's really opened my eyes a little bit is maybe the separation of talent between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns. We see all the time everyone wants to gravitate towards the superstars, and for years that's been the way that you go out there and win NBA championships. But when you don't have anything past those superstars, it puts you in a little bit of a difficult spot. Now, I know the Suns haven't lost a game at home yet, so still very much in control of their own destiny if they're able to hold serve, and we've seen them get bet from a 2.5-point favorite out to 4.5. But if the Timberwolves are able to get a split in Phoenix, I think it speaks volumes about a young team that not many people necessarily believed in being able to knock off Phoenix the way that one was getting bet before the series started. And when we look at the Boston Celtics, I don't think Miami's going to really put a true scare into them, but awfully hard to trust this team when you look at the way they perform in the postseason. Big-time underachievers. I just think that they get a very favorable road in the East, and nobody will really truly be able to push them, whether it's the 76ers or Knicks, should one of those teams meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
We know how good the Nuggets are, but they are the complete kryptonite for the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers have lost 13 consecutive games. LeBron James has more playoff starting experience combined with 285 playoff games than the entire roster of the Denver Nuggets, but they're down 0-3. And what could I have gotten for the Nuggets to sweep the Lakers?
The price won't be as outlandish as you think in that regard. I saw some shops in that plus 175, plus 180 range, because when you look at the way the series price opened, I mean, the Nuggets were more in that $5 to $6 range. Now, if you believe that the Nuggets would trail at halftime in 2 of those games and be able to come back and win in commanding fashion, a little bit of a different dynamic there. Of course, game 2, the one that maybe broke the Lakers' spirit, but Denver just finds a way to wear this group down. And you look at Nikola Jokic, he is more than happy to take what the defense gives him. And, sometimes if it's 8 or 9 points early on, they've just found a way to continue to come at Anthony Davis and make sure this Lakers team has nothing left in the tank when you get deep into the fourth quarter, or in the case of Game 3, the Nuggets really going into takeover mode in the third, showing incredible balance with all 4 of their 5 starters with 20-plus points, and it just speaks to how good this team is and why they're going to continue to be a force to be reckoned with in the Western Conference.
Your free play of the week is Roughnecks plus the 7.5 against the Stallions in the UFL. Go ahead and take that one. What'd you think of the Talladega finish? I know you're a big fan.
As someone who had Brad Keselowski at 15-1, I wish that the block had gone a little bit more seamlessly from Michael McDowell, and Brad had a chance to race to the flag at the end and kind of take that win. But credit to Tyler Reddick. I mean, he kept himself out of the mess all day long. And the one thing that I would like to see, and it's not just Talladega, we're starting to see the trend emerge at Daytona. It's really become a lot more of a fuel race. And so I think NASCAR has to figure out how to handle the stages, because a lot of these teams just not racing full throttle, so you don't see the same speed that we've grown accustomed to in the past. and it changes some of the excitement that you get. I know super speedway racing, and especially Talladega, has a prominent place on the schedule, and rightfully so, but it's one race, or two races, I should say, every year, gentlemen, that I watch, and I am thrilled that I do not have a ton of exposure from a betting standpoint. I'm more impressed that all of you guys were able to survive Talladega, and hopefully Taylor wasn't scarred doing a lot of your social media presence being on Talladega Boulevard as well.
I think she loved it. I think the whole crew loved it out there. You had to laugh, though, when the Toyota cars timed it up so they could all be together, and then they wrecked themselves.
You know, the craziest part about that was the strategy was well-founded, and that's actually what gave Tyler Reddick the opportunity to go out there and win the race. He just didn't have his Toyota teammates out there to push with him. But Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, and everybody else, not exactly what a Toyota Racing Development drew up when a lot of those guys find their day ending significantly earlier, and we hope that Eric Jones can return soon from that compression fracture in his lower back.
All right, he is Todd Fuhrman, bettheboardpodcast.com, bettheboardpodcast.com, and at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. Thank you very much, Fuhrman. Have a great weekend.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Enjoy the last couple of days of the draft.
All right, buddy. You too. Fuhrman with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Last couple of days of the draft, an amazing graphic here after LT tells us about Lake Fest, which is coming up. Lake Fest coming up.
Yeah, May 10th through the 12th, Lake Fest, Logan Martin Lake. Make sure you plan on being there. It's Mother's Day weekend, but they're going to have the free mimosas for Mom on Sunday. They're going to have free music all weekend long. Make sure you stop in and see all of the great folks at Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by Am First. Again, May 10th through the 12th, right there, Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free admission for the public. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats, vehicles on display, vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend, including free Velcro Pygmies concert on Saturday night, fireworks show on Friday night. For more information, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Okay, now this graphic, I don't have graphic support for it, but I will just tell you from Yahoo, it amazed me today. Tonight, you got the second and third round on ABC, ESPN, same place you saw it last night. After that, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh round, not as important. In fact, making the starting roster last year in the NFL, first round draft picks made up 28.24% of the starting rosters last year. Second round made up 18.9% of the starting. Third round, 14.8%. The fourth highest percentage of making up the roster, 12.1% of the starting rosters in the NFL last year, were undrafted free agents. More than fourth-round picks, fifth-round picks, sixth-round picks, and seventh-round picks.
Well, it used to be a death sentence, undrafted.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, it's tough to evaluate talent when it gets that far down. And when you bring in these free agents, then you can make the decision on who you want to keep, who the fit is.
Well, isn't that pretty amazing? Oh, there's the graphic here from our friends at Yahoo. Isn't that amazing that you've got first, second, third round, last night and tonight, and then you've got a better chance, or at least in that period of time, those 4 or 5 years, 2019, 2023, of being an undrafted free agent and making the roster than being drafted in the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh round. I thought that was
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really surprised because you bring in more undrafted free agents.
Yeah. Well, you do, LT, but you have a chance to draft them in the fourth, fifth, and sixth before they're undrafted.
Yeah, but again, once you get down to the fourth, fifth, and sixth, I mean, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it is. It is. They called it the secret round there with Yahoo, and I just thought that was a pretty amazing stat.
No, I agree with you 100% because I've always been told the great teams build in those late rounds, right?
Right.
And that's what I've always been told. It's the first round gets all the lights and the highlights and the talking heads, but what sets you apart is what you do in the late rounds.
Yeah, but if you just look, I mean, 4.8% in the sixth round where Tom Brady was drafted one time and became the greatest of all time, and Brock Purdy with the 49ers now is a 3 in 100 chance of Brock Purdy doing what he's doing right now. Tom Brady was a 4 in 100 chance of doing what he's doing. Man, that's pretty against the odds.
Yeah.
And what they're doing. Some reaction from the draft. Let's go back to the train wreck before we get to Luganbill. The train wreck that was, or at least what I've talked myself into actually liking what Atlanta has done with Michael Penix.
Are you kidding?
You don't like Bowers, you do like Penix. Okay.
I've talked myself into they've got a guy for 2 years, and then Penix will take over. Why not? But the explanation. Give me cut 3 if you can, Tyler. Cut 3. This is Terry Fontenot, the general manager, and Raheem Morris, the new head coach, and they get asked about the hard part last night. Actually having to tell Kirk Cousins that they were drafting or had drafted Michael Penix. And Raheem's on the right, Fontenot's on the left, and this is how the explanation went last night to the Atlanta media.
Whichever one of you called Kurt when you were on the clock and you tell him about it, what's his reaction?
Well, that's a private. We wouldn't share that, and obviously we...
Reactions are pretty private, right?
Yeah.
He got called on the clock, obviously because it's a sensitive time with the issues of what you got going on. It's never a right time to talk to a quarterback about those things, and reactions are always going to be private when it comes to those things, unless Kirk decides to tell you some of those things, or whatever the case may be. But he's a competitor, just like us all, and you can always expect those things to go just like you kind of think.
His agents kind of been telling us that they were shocked and dismayed and so forth. That they were informed.
That's who's running your organization, Forrester. You know what his reaction was? Are you effing kidding me? And here's the thing. Why would you not give him a heads up? It's not like, well, we wanted to see if Michael Penix was going to be available. You knew Michael Penix was going to be available at 8. You knew you were going to take him all night long. Why would you, when you're on the clock, give him the heads up then?
You're right.
It's a kick in the balls.
It really is. For a guy that's not even put on a helmet yet, by the way, I want to keep pointing that out. It's not like this guy's played there 5 years. He has not put on a helmet for them yet.
Wait, and you want him to be able to roll into that organization and really capture his teammates, and now he goes in, he's probably pissed off.
EG would tell you, Forrester would tell you, they're Atlanta people, Atlanta fans, Atlanta people. Kirk Cousins has gone to Braves games. He's gone to Hawks games. He's gone to the soccer match. He was at the soccer match. He has jumped into the city and has done everything you would want him to do. His wife's from there, so he loves the city, and he's jumped in there and tried to be Mr. Atlanta since he's been a part of the team.
My favorite part of it was Terry Fontenot when he's asked the question and he answers, reactions are private, and he looks over at Raheem Morris like, this is what we're going with, by the way.
Well, yeah, because if the let me ask you this. Is it private if Kirk Cousins goes, man, I cannot wait to bring in Michael Penix Jr. I think he's talented, love watching him at Washington. I can't wait to mentor him. Would that have been private?
Probably not. And boy, if Kirk Cousins comes out and says that today, I'd throw a little extra in his paycheck this week if I was the Atlanta
God,
Falcons.
they're giving $180 million.
I mean, what that showed me is they looked completely lost. Yeah. And Kirk Cousins' reaction, I would have loved to have heard it, but I think I'm pretty close in the ballpark of, are you effing kidding me?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you that I like Raheem. I do
too. I just don't think he's that good of a head coach. I think he's a great defensive mind.
I think he got in a tough situation in Tampa. I mean, we were not a great roster and had a little quarterback issue, and not a good time for him to be a head coach there.
I think
he's in a better situation in Atlanta.
The question I always wonder on these deals is how heavy-handed was Arthur Blank in this? And those guys are not going to sit there and say, well, you know what? Our owner came in and said, we like this guy, let's go.
I would think you'd have to run that by Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank.
Oh, there's no doubt.
There's video of them talking to Arthur Blank.
Yeah. Obviously, it's his money, but he's also getting older. He wants a championship. Yeah. He loves this organization. And I'm surprised that he greenlit that.
Yeah. From what I'm told, usually he is a hands-off owner. He's not Jerry Jones. He's the total opposite.
No, but he's shown up in film before and hangs out in the back.
No, he does, and he's on the sidelines. He loves it. I'm just saying he lets the football people make football decisions. He's not a Jerry Jones pseudo
not a good
manager.
decision. And I love Penix Jr.
Yeah, we may all give it Fs today. It may end up being fantastic. We'll talk to Tom Luganbill when we come back. Dr. B now working with 2/3 of this desk up here.
I thought about it. I've always said tell a friend if they're starting to thin out a little bit. I think I did mention something to you a couple of months ago, didn't I?
Yeah,
because you said yesterday, did somebody say something to you? And I think I just said.
Well, I'd mentioned to you that should we mention something to Brown?
So Dunaway was talking behind my back, but you came to me, so I do appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Well, I told him you would come. I literally said this. I said, you'll admit this. I said, it will come better coming from you than from me.
Well, because your delivery's not great.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not. It's awkward. It's awkward.
Right,
So anyway, Brown went to see Dr. B, and I think Brown is going to absolutely love the progress his hair is about to have. He's going to do the same treatment I'm doing. Luganbill's laughing his ass off. Non-invasive intensive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That's all I'm doing. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. Make that phone call today. Schedule a consultation just like me and Brown had with Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business, 205-319-0316. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. T3hair.net for more information.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923. This hour of the next round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call GutterCapBirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Back here on the next round as we roll on, Tom Luginbill standing by. As Tom joins us, tell us about Johnston RV Center, Brownie. Our trip last week to Talladega would not have been half as fun if not for Nick Johnston and Johnston RV Center.
Of course not. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman. 334 Indicator is where you find them. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. They have repriced their entire, both of their lots. And they are so confident in their pricing, they give you a nationwide price match guarantee. Actually, they'll beat it.
Nationwide.
They will beat it nationwide on any comparable RV. Bring them the price, and they will beat it at Johnston RV. RV warranty forever, lifetime warranty on everything new and qualifying used. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman. 334 Indicator, always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. Tom Luginbill joins us now from the road. He is with ESPN. What is up, Luke? How are you?
I am great. So a couple of things before we get started. Number one, how much fun is RVing?
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, we had it at Talladega. Awesome. It's great, yes.
Yeah.
It is awesome. Did it with the family for like 2 years. Hope to be doing it again at some point or another when everybody's off to college. Number two, Jim, you're beyond repair.
Yeah. On my hair?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we tell Dave past this all the time.
Yeah.
We're like, don't be Brian Urlacher.
No. In fact, it would look stupid now if I started to grow it back. But
Yes.
I was actually the first one because it was going to be like turning a basket of fish and feeding the masses if Dr. B was able to get my hair to grow back. So the first thing was you're old, your follicles are dead. So then LT went, and now Brownie is there. So yes, we are way past it. Yes.
I think you look good. I don't think you should change a thing.
Well, it's a little hairy today.
It's going to be a little tough.
I usually buzz it. I didn't buzz it this morning. I was running a little late. Didn't get here till 6:50.
I see it though. You got the little sproutlings.
Yeah.
Luganbill also missed the eye a little late. Didn't get here till 6:50.
Luganbill, he looks like baby reindeer.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, our man Chip Brown. Chip Brown, I was on with him yesterday in Austin. He's like, hey, my wife wanted to know, are you the idiot that got us on Baby Reindeer? And I told you guys the same thing. I watched one episode, and you'll agree after one episode, it's like, damn, this can be pretty good. And then it quickly goes off the rails.
Right off of a cliff. Now, while we're on the subject, don't know if you've seen it, but there is a great show with Jeff Daniels called American Rust.
Oh, I've got it queued and ready to go this weekend.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
It's phenomenal. It's on Amazon Prime. There's only 2 seasons. The wife and I just finished the finale of the 2nd season, and it was one of the best television end-of-season finales, and I hope it's not the end of the show. It's one of the best finales I've seen in a long time. Get on it. It's fantastic.
That is amazing you said that because I was looking for something after The Gentleman to watch, and that would popped up, and I was like, I'm going to go with that.
Give me a synopsis. What we got?
So it's basically in the Rust Belt. It's like a small outside of Pittsburgh in the peninsula point of West Virginia, old mining towns. And it's basically a police thriller drama mystery.
Okay.
With that's the best way for me to explain it without giving too much away. You don't know who to trust. You think the good guys are the good guys, but you're not quite sure. Yeah. Sometimes the good guys got to do bad guy things, but you like them because they're really actually the good guy that just had to do what needed to be done. That type of thing.
What's his time period? Is it like
it's now? It's
okay.
Current.
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels. I don't know if you ever saw Godless. I thought that was his best work.
Great movie.
Yeah, he was incredible in that. But I mean, he's an underrated guy, obviously from Dumb and Dumber and doing drama. I mean, the guy's versatile.
He's great in the newsroom.
Oh, the newsroom. Love the newsroom.
Fantastic. By the way, is there anything in sports going on lately?
I don't know. You've got J.J. McCarthy on your bed back there.
Yeah, well, you guys are talking about hair. Quaid.
Yeah, tell Quaid get a haircut. Get a haircut, Quaid.
We got no hair problems here with a bowl of popcorn.
Hey,
bowl of popcorn.
As a guy who used to teach a Easy A class at Eastern Kentucky, that hair works in Richmond, Kentucky.
First of all, there is no such thing. This is the Harvard of the South, mind you. By the way, so this is so cool, and you guys know this, because in our business, we miss a lot. Right? Like we miss a lot.
Right.
And it just so happens, especially for me, because I never get to see him play, and it just so happens that this weekend, Fox has 3 of the 4 UFL games. And it happens to coincide with the spring game and a charity event that I'm involved with. So I actually get to come and do it with my son this weekend, which is awesome because he enrolls in the summer session in like 3 weeks, and I'm not going to be able to be there to take him. So this is like a really, really cool weekend. And Jim, I know you know better than to besmirch Richmond, Kentucky.
Oh, I know. No, I taught a class there. I left a brand new pair of shoes there because I had too many kamikaze shots one night at a bar when I met a young lady. Richard Kidd, I think, right? Richard Kidd, is that his name? Coach Kidd, Roy Kidd, yeah. Roy Kidd Stadium, man. That guy could coach some ball.
Yeah. He could coach some ball, man. Made it to 91 years old this last August.
Tom Luginbill is with us from ESPN. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. This may be a tough question, but of the first-round guys, you evaluated all these guys coming out of high school.
Yeah.
Of the first-round guys, from the first tape you watched to last night, who made the biggest improvement? Just gut reaction from the first tape you ever watched them until last night when they're drafted. Who do you think you saw make the biggest jump?
Bo Nix.
There you go. Bo Nix.
I mean, honestly, and you and I were texting last night.
Yeah.
And you've got to give that kid a lot of credit, man. Because anybody who's in our profession, in the media, pays attention to college football or recruiting. And I first saw him at a Atlanta camp. I think he was 15. And we had him in the Under Armour game. But anybody who thinks after those first 3 years at Auburn that he was going to go on and would tell you that he was going to go on and become a first-round draft choice is flat out lying. I mean, there's probably not been a player that has had a reversal of fortune and earned his stock in the first round as much as Bo Nix did when you consider the path he took.
Okay, can I ask you this, Luganbill? I want to read you this from Adam Schefter, and you tell me how full of horse shit Sean Payton is. Sean Payton wanted and intended to draft Patrick Mahomes in the 2017 draft when he held the 11th overall pick. He was ready to turn in the card, but before he could, the Chiefs traded up to the Bills spot at number 10 and took Mahomes one spot before Payton drafted him. Payton feels as strongly about Bo Nix as he did about Mahomes.
If he feels that way, then you make the pick. I mean, I thought the pick was high. I thought there was a little ego involved. But if you feel that way, then you've got to make the pick, and now it's your job to coach him into that type of player. But I will say this, too. As much as people loved Patrick Mahomes, nobody projected that one either. Because you've got to understand, when you look at that offense, you look at the true air raid offense, there have been two players, since Tim Couch was drafted. Why do I have balloons on this?
I do not know. What in the world just happened?
That is unbelievable.
There's nothing we did.
Was that you?
No, I think it was Quaid. I think Quaid screwed up.
Yeah, he is.
The budget in the next round. I thought we got special effects now.
I don't know.
I got a green screen. A dinosaur is going to show up here. In just
we just don't want eggplants.
You know what's crazy is this is a new segment I'm doing. It's like that show on ESPN. You just made a good point, so I gave you balloons.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really like it.
If you make another good point, I'll give you lightning bolts. Hot takes.
So there have been two players since Tim Couch was drafted that have actually panned out from the air raid offense. That's Patrick Mahomes, and I think you have to now include Jared Goff. He has played in 2 Super Bowls. Okay.
Yep.
So nobody really truly believed that one. They might have loved his skill set, but you have to always ask yourself from that scheme, is it going to translate? Is he going to be able to make that move? And there's really only been 2. In fact, if you look over the course of the last 20 years, do you know how many top 10 picks, quarterbacks, have actually made the Pro Bowl or been voted unanimously All-Pro?
How many?
4.
20
years.
20 years.
Just shows you how difficult it is to project a position.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see it from. I mean, I tweeted out, and it's one of those freezing takes, and I've seen it a million times. When the Chiefs took him 10th overall, I was like, they're going to regret this Patrick Mahomes kid. Because, I mean, realistically, Bo Nix had a ton more success in college than Patrick Mahomes did.
Yeah.
He won a lot more games. He absolutely did.
Let me ask you,
while
though.
we're on the subject.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Drake made Mac Jones. I mean, you tell me, what are the Patriots doing? Is Drake made that much better than Mac Jones?
Athletically, he is. Absolutely, he is. He's a completely different athlete, completely different style of play. I think my issue with Drake is they never finish seasons strong. He misses too many layups, and his feet are a mess. Now, I think that the footwork part's coachable, but those windows are going to go from here to there.
Right.
And you can't miss those ones. And I think that's the concern. And the other concern on top of it is, what is the organizational investment around him? They're not a very good football team.
Yeah, that seemed like that was Mac's problem. Now I understand that, Drake May is more Josh Allen and Mac Jones was more of a pocket guy. But when it comes to arm strengths and accuracy and things like that, is Drake that much better than Mac? I mean, the ability to run is one thing, but was Drake's arm stronger than Mac's? Is Drake's accuracy better than Mac's?
I think so. I think accuracy is very comparable. If you're gonna say, okay, well, where would maybe Mac have an advantage? I think the arm strength, the athleticism, the natural. The guy's a 3-sport athlete. I mean, it would just he's different, But you look at him and you say, okay, what do they got around him? And then you look at Minnesota and you go, oh my goodness, look at what McCarthy's stepping into.
That's right.
Right. I mean, we're talking about an entirely different set of circumstances, and in that league, circumstances matter. Like, who do you have around you? Do you have the right scheme? Do you have the right coach? I was on Sirius XM the other day, and I was talking about Kurt Warner's journey. And when you think about it, think about all of the things that had to happen right? You had to have the Rams be willing to do it. You had to have Mike Martz. You had to have Trent Green go down. You had to have Marshall Faulk, Hakeem, Torrey Holt, and Isaac Bruce. You had to have Orlando Pace. Like, think about all of the stars that have to align, right? So a lot of these guys that are highly touted and very, very talented are going to a situation where it may take a couple of years for the stars to align.
I think it was Brown or Dunaway that pointed out the fact that Bo Nix went in front of Brock Bowers. I've said all along that I think Brock Bowers, if he stays healthy, is the absolute can't miss in this draft. I was hoping as a Rams fan, the offense would have been unstoppable with a healthy Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Brock Bowers with the way Sean McVay calls plays. But obviously Antonio Pierce said, look, Michael Mayer, we got him last year in the second round, but best player available at 13 is Brock Bowers. How do you think his game translates to the next level?
I tweeted last night that I thought he was pound for pound the best player in the entire draft pool. And I think it's hard to draw a comparison of somebody to him. And he hasn't played an NFL snap yet. And that's what you do when you get to that spot. And the guys that you wanted, I know they wanted Jaden Daniels, wasn't going to happen, and they weren't going to be able to trade to do it. I think they would have taken Penix. All right? That didn't happen. You take the best player on the board and you figure out the rest. And what he does offensively. Guys, how many tight ends do you see running jet sweeps?
I know.
Like, how many tight ends do you see in orbit motion and they're running bubble screen? Yeah. Like, he threatens the hashes. He threatens the numbers. He's going to be a nightmare over the middle of the field. And his run after catch abilities are so rare that there's just nobody to compare to him. I thought it was a great pick.
So why did they draft wide receivers? I mean, why would the people that draft wide receivers not just get the uncoverable tight end Brock Bowers?
I know. Well, again, that's where you're weighing need and best player, available player in your slot versus best overall player if the guy's still there. And I think there's a different set of thinking for every team in that regard. So, I mean, and listen, too, when we're having this discussion with this particular position, like, if there's not a Marvin Harrison or a Roma Dunze or some of these, if they're not in this class, then the answer to your questions, I think, is a lot easier.
Luginbill, before you go, one quick college question. They were called the Freeze Four, the receivers that Hugh Freeze recruited, both recruited through the transfer portal. Obviously, Cam Coleman, Bryce Kane, Perry Thompson, Robert Lewis, the transfer out of Georgia State.
Georgia State, yeah.
But now you add Keandre Lambert-Smith. I guess it's the Freeze Five now out of Penn State. What are they getting in him, and what do you make of this brand new receiving core that Peyton Thorne will have next year?
Well, I think it's a remarkable turn of events for them because they went from really having minimal weapons to terrific weapons. So you've got 5 guys going out the door in the portal. You've got the 3 and then the kid from Cal's coming in too. With Robert Lewis, by getting Keandre Lambert, you get to move Robert Lewis inside the slot, which is probably where he belongs. And Coach Freeze loves to do stuff with the slot receiver. What I think this does is it, number one, upgrades the room because Cam Coleman is going to be special. He's going to be special. He is. It upgrades the room, but what it also does indirectly is it puts a lot more pressure on Peyton Thorne to perform because now you're not going to be able to say he doesn't have guys around him. They've got guys around him. They've got improvements around him. So this is what the transfer portal is capable of doing now. If you're doing your job and you're doing the work, you can retool something in 2 weeks. It might have taken 2 years.
Someone said the balloons were because you have software that picks up on finger gestures. He said, get Luganbill to do another thumbs up to the camera and see what happens. Oh, there you go.
Oh!
How about that? I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Now clap your hands.
Clap your hands.
What is quotation?
Oh, confetti.
Is that confetti?
Yeah.
Boy, I'm glad you're not on a job interview.
No, if you do that, we're going to get the eggplant.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What is my point? What does that do?
We got nothing there.
Clap your hands.
Yeah,
This is great.
Clap.
Clap.
Do the shake weight that you used to work out with.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of sickos.
I didn't watch that series you and LT watched.
Baby reindeer.
I immediately got off of it. I was cursing him up and down.
We'll see you, boy.
All right, Luke. Thank you. Enjoy it with Quaid, man. Y'all be good.
All right. Well, hey, will do.
See ya.
They didn't do it.
Luganbill with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
That is crazy. Can you imagine if you were like on a there was some show where somebody's doing a Zoom call and their face turns into like the avatar.
Yeah. They had the
that happened a lot in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. What's everybody looking at?
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah, but what if you were really on a job interview and all that stuff started to happen?
Our friends at Redmont Vodka bringing us that drunk moment with the internet.
Hey, the weekend is here. Pick up a bottle of Redmont Vodka, locally owned and operated. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind Redmont Vodka. It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled. It is absolutely fantastic. You can get it at your local package store, including the beverage place, pink package. If you're at a local bar or restaurant, ask for it by name. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. It is Redmont Vodka.
Hey, give me a cut 5 real quick, if you will. My man Tyler is filling in for Rockstar today. Later on, no Rockstar in the lounge, but the Floribama Lounge will come to you live from the beach as we get ready for the 40th annual Mullet Toss down there. That's coming up at about an hour from now. Some more fun still to come on the show. Bo Nix on his own Instagram page last night, talking about being drafted 12th overall and being the quarterback of the future for the Denver Broncos.
What's up, Denver? I am so excited to be a Bronco. This is such a dream come true. From day one, Denver was my number one. I want to say thank you to the organization. I can't wait to meet the fans. Broncos country, let's go.
I mean, good for him. I hope he goes up there and kills it. I was stunned that the quarterbacks went as quickly as they did, and that, to Luginbill's point, from the first time I saw Bo Nix play for Pinson Valley, I saw him in high school play for Pinson Valley, to think he would be the 12th overall pick, that's a big jump.
You want to know how weird it is? I won't give names, but she was a former intern. I'll say this. A former intern of ours that made us photo cards for SEC Media Days one year. Remember her? Don't say her name. But anyway, she lives in Denver now. She's married.
I do not remember.
I don't remember this.
And at the Alabama Final Four in L.A., she was like, "We're so excited. We're good friends. He's good friends with Izzy.
Okay.
And we're going to be such good friends with Bo and Izzy when he's drafted by the Broncos." And I was like,
they got the 12th pick, you know.
I go, he's not getting drafted by the Broncos. And she's like, they really think they are. You know, they've done some conversations. They've been to town to visit. They've already looked at, neighborhoods they want to live in and, near us and blah, 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 blah. And we're having this conversation in L.A. at the Final Four. I mean, it's in the bar area night after the loss, I think it was.
Okay.
And I was like, you're wishful thinking, I'm sure, but y'all can have friends in town. And then last night it happened, and I texted her instantly. I was like, wow. And she's like, we are so excited.
Okay.
So excited.
I just want to let you know the Denver Broncos, though, first-round guys, Brock Osweiler.
Didn't work.
Paxton Lynch.
Yeah. Well, so
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, here's what you're doing is you're talking about the myth that people that don't pay attention get sucked into when John Elway was the team president.
Yeah.
John Elway, that man knows quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know what he didn't know how to do was draft quarterbacks. That was
Michael Jordan could be a great general manager.
Yeah,
in
that
basketball.
was the thing. John Elway was the worst at was evaluating quarterbacks in the draft. Yeah. He was awful at it.
Like, I know Denver fans wanted quarterback, but one of my really good friends, Scott Banks, who lives in Denver now, he's from originally Fort Payne. He was the guy that used to take me to June Jam all the time. Great dude. He was like floored, disgusted. I'm pulling for Bo. I know people don't believe that, but I want these. Denver, first of all, has got a rabid fan base there in the AFC, so I don't care what they do.
Okay.
But Bo was always a good interview for us.
State
Guys
Alabama
worked
kid.
his ass off.
Yep.
So, I hope he plays well. I thought it was a little bit of a reach for him to go that high.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that.
That's pretty wild that somebody told you that.
At least Bo and Izzy were getting some conversation that they felt like the Broncos would take them. Maybe in the second round, maybe not 12th overall. But
I'll say this
crazy.
is a perfect place for him. We talked about this last night on our pre-draft show from Twin Peaks. In Sean Payton's system, I think it really helped Drew Brees develop into the Hall of Fame quarterback that he is, because that's what he was. he would just be kind of that point guard distributing, a lot of underneath stuff, a lot of intermediate. Saban pointed it out last night. 77.5% is 77.5%.
Yeah, he said the most accurate quarterback in the draft.
That's right.
Nick Saban said
and
that.
that's what Saban said. And he's like, and you guys can criticize him for the quick passes, the short passes, but that's what Sean Payton's going to ask you to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
And to be able to throw that little quick slant pass and let them run after they catch it, that's a money play if you can make it work.
I'll go back to QBR in the pocket. We showed that graphic earlier this week, and he was at the top of the graphic. That's important to Sean Payton, obviously.
Good for Bo right there. Running hot, running cold. Our friends at Hemp Hill LT will do 4 downs when we come back.
205-229-2090. It is going to be hot this weekend. You need to make sure that AC unit ready to keep up with this changing. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow John Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Regions Tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Regions Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by Amherst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Slice pizza. I was by there yesterday.
What'd you get, Jimmy?
Went by there, got a slice of pizza.
And a salad.
No. Back up. Got a.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Back it up, Terry. I went in there. I got a wedge that I always get when I go in there. Think of my man Ush. It's the Ush Memorial Wedge.
The old wedge.
I go in to get the wedge, and then I got the smoked wings. Delicious.
The wings are so good.
So I had a wedge and a wings, and then I went and killed some time and did our show last night at Twin Peaks. Thanks to everybody who came out. We'll be at the Barber Motorsports Park later tonight, getting ready for the Indy Grand Prix of Alabama. IndyCar racing in town this week. Whole lot of fun. Tickets still available, so go check that out. Time for 4 downs. Speaking of Slice, man, tell them about Slice.
It's a great place to go this weekend. Load up the family, head to one of those 5 locations of Slice, the original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montebello, Crestline Park, and now in Edgewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy continued to be celebrated by his brothers, Jason and Chris. Again, 5 locations, local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Who gets a playoff win first? Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers or Sharon Moore with Michigan?
See, a playoff win for Michigan, I mean, it could be like an 8-9 game where they're the home team.
Got to get to the playoffs.
You do, but so does LA. I mean,
I'll go
that's
Chargers.
Not an automatic for the Chargers either.
I'll go Chargers this year.
And Justin Herbert wins all those playoff games.
No, he never has, Frank.
Yeah.
I think I would go Chargers too.
Well, I
We
mean,
need to get that privacy agreement
freaking
done.
technology
There,
is crazy today.
Yeah.
AI's about to take over the world.
This is where we make fun of Jim being old, that he's got his ringer turned on.
No, I don't have my ringer on. It's my iPad, and it's not even turned up. It's always turned on. I will go Sharon Moore. I'm going to bet against Harbaugh with the Chargers and Herbert winning a playoff game.
Paul Harbaugh, Nick Chargers, Nicholas Chargers will make the playoffs. I sort of feel that way too this year.
Second down.
More wins this season. Bo Nix or Peyton Thorne?
I'll go Peyton Thorne.
Keep in mind the Bronco quarterback room right now is former Auburn quarterback Jarrett Stidham, one-time Auburn quarterback Bo Nix, and Zach Wilson. That's their room. That's their room. That's their quarterback room.
I mean, I could see any of those guys starting the majority of the games this year, couldn't you?
Yeah, I'll take Peyton Thorne. 9-9 would win it.
Yeah, I'll go Peyton Thorne.
Yeah, I think even if everything breaks right for Bo, I mean, Bo to win 9 or 10 games his rookie season would be incredible.
Yeah.
And Peyton Thorne, if you win less than 9 games, it's going to be a massive disappointment for Auburn fans.
Screen is full with Thorns there.
Yep.
SS says tie at 7.
Do you think there's another NFL franchise right now? I don't think there is another team that's got 3 quarterbacks in the room, and you're like, I could see any of those 3 guys being the majority of the stars.
Do you think Jarrett Stidham really could be the majority of the stars?
Absolutely, I could.
I don't think so.
Stidham, Nix, and Zach Wilson.
Well, I just think if you've got first round money in Bo, you're going to play.
You think he starts right away?
I do, yeah.
I don't know who the other 2 guys are in Las Vegas behind Gardner Minshew, and I don't know who
Aiden O'Connell, and I don't know who quarterback 3 is.
Yeah, and I don't know who the other guy is in Atlanta, but those 2, I could see any of those 3 starting any game.
Third down.
More wins over the next 2 years. Michael Penix Jr. or his former backup who's now at Alabama, Austin Mack?
Over the next 2 years?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't think Penix, it's going to take a injury to Kirk Cousins, which has happened.
Because he can't even get mad about what happened and walk away from $100 million guaranteed.
Oh, no. He's playing for the Falcons. Yeah. I will say more wins.
I'm going to say
I just don't know where. I mean, Austin Mack is far from a guaranteed starter next year.
Yeah. Tie at 0, LT.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easy answer would be 0 here. I'll go Penix. I'll gamble. I don't want to do this to Kirk Cousins, but I'll gamble on an injury and go Penix.
Yeah, I would go Penix just based on the injury.
Yeah, I'll agree
Fourth
with
down.
Derek Jeter, 50 today.
Jeets.
Ariana Grande, 31. Ultimately better career.
Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, again, before we jump to the sports angle, and I know Jeter is one of the best ever, but Ariana Grande, I mean, people believe she's one of the best vocalists. She churns out albums, not at the pace of Taylor Swift, but she's only 31. She's an actress. I think she's got one of the top 10 Instagram accounts in the world, for whatever that's worth, which is probably a lot.
It's probably worth a great amount. Yes.
Little T would tell you it's worth a lot. Worth a lot. I'm going to say Jeets.
Jeets has not really helped himself in
front office.
The front office role, and that's the mistake a lot of these guys make is they finish playing and then they hurt their image in the front office role.
Yeah, and here's the thing. At 31, I would guarantee you she has more money now than Jeets will ever have.
I probably would agree with that. Yeah.
I'll look at Jeter's net worth. You look at Ariana Grande.
I mean, that music money's good money.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ariana's around 300 and Jeter's probably around 200.
It depends on whether or not she writes any of her songs.
Oh, she does.
Jeter's net worth is $200 million.
I've got Ariana Grande at 240. So
closer than
it's
you
very
thought.
close. Yeah.
No, it's close. I mean, hell, Jeter made a ton of money, but the fact that she's 31.
Yeah, Ariana's still earning, and Jeter's is going to.
But her genre, I don't know how much longer she'll be earning.
What do you mean?
I mean, she's not going to do it at 40.
Gwen Stefani does it at 40.
Yeah, she was better.
50.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani was better than Ariana Grande. You're insane.
Different style.
Well, it is a different style. It doesn't make her better.
Gwen Stefani's a rocker. They age.
I like Gwen Stefani.
She ages. Rockers age old. You don't age old when you're the pop star.
I think the No Doubt stuff ages, but the other stuff, the Gwen Stefani solo stuff, has kind of just been forgotten mostly.
No Doubt's reunited.
No doubt.
Yeah. That is our 4 Downs today, brought to you by
5 locations of Slice. Get in this weekend from the Soul Pie, the Bajaya Special, the Hot Mama. What did you have yesterday?
I had the
Spicy Wine.
No, I didn't have a slice. I had the wings.
Oh, yeah. Great wings, desserts. Stop in, see the Bajaya Brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. Local pizza, local ingredients.
All right. When we come back, some of this great sound that Forrester's put for still to come. Dallas Turner, Caleb Williams, and Terrion Arnold reacts. What a moment from Terrion, because 275,000 people were attending the draft. And then the hometown team traded up for our man Terrion Arnold, and he got to go out there like he had just won the freaking lottery. What a moment last night. All that coming up on the show. That's brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. Use the promo code NEXTROUND, and our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster. Champy's Chicken.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. And how about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Regions Tradition, May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Regent's Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show. Always brought to you by Champy's Chicken. Before Forrester puts up the Champy's Chicken graphic, and I tell you about Sterling and the crew, just to catch you up to date on everything that we've been talking about. One of them, Ryland Griffin, officially to Kansas now. He puts that out earlier today. No surprise to anybody. Big visits coming up this weekend. There you see the Ryland graphic. Big visits coming up this weekend, not only for Alabama basketball, but Alabama football. Continuing for Auburn football is the portal, still open through April the 30th. But I will say this again about the portal. You don't have to be out of the portal by April 30th next week, Tuesday. You've got to be in the portal if you're leaving. And I still expect, with a guy like Arizona State's Ed Woods coming to town to Alabama, and Khalil Jacobs now in the portal, the great linebacker from South Alabama, I still expect Alabama to add a couple of people, and I wouldn't be surprised if you still lose a couple of people from Alabama before the portal ends up closing. So we'll see how that churns on. We've talked a lot about the NFL draft. We're about to do more of that. Last night in the NBA, L.A. loses again. They're down 0-3. They're done. The question now becomes, is it a sweep or not?
Probably a sweep. LeBron has not won a series since they won the championship in 2020, which is hard to believe the level he's playing at right now. Him and AD, good games again last night. They had opportunities to pull that one out to make the series interesting. D'Angelo Russell was awful, and I was getting criticized because I don't know if you guys saw it when they were in a huddle towards the end of the game.
He wasn't.
Yeah, he was in his own world.
Have you seen the video from the huddle where Darvin Ham's trying to draw up a play and he can't come up with anything? Have you seen that? No, I swear to you, it's like I don't know who's getting the video because it's almost like from the back bench. That's how good a video it is. And he's got the board, and he keeps writing something on there. Then he erases it with his hand. Then he writes, and he erases it with his hands. He probably just throws the board down, and they break the huddle.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing.
Get it to LeBron or AD.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. LeBron, you get open, somebody throwing the ball.
Yeah. And then there was Embiid last night who scored 50. The Sixers making a series with the Knicks there. Should he have been ejected? They call a flagrant 1. Should it have been a flagrant 2 on what he did?
I don't know. More importantly, though, Dunaway, have you seen what he's got right now? Everybody was talking about the leg, the back. Now he's got Bell's palsy. I don't know how much you guys know about this, and I don't know if you remember when I turned 40, we were in Nashville, and my ex-wife Bethany woke up, and her face was paralyzed.
Yeah.
And she thought she was having a stroke, and we called Dr. Ricketts back then. We ended up forgot the hospital downtown in Nashville, but they diagnosed her immediately with Bell's palsy. And she had to go to an acupuncturist. It lasted for years.
Yeah, and can be painful, right?
Painful. Your eye, you can't close it, so she would have to wear a patch on it. So this is something really to monitor because his eye is going to dry out, especially playing 40-plus minutes.
Yeah, he played through it last night for 50. 3 more games tonight throughout the weekend. Stallions play on the road at Houston. 4-0 Stallions, 1-3 Houston. 6 o'clock on Fox Saturday night. Your headlines there brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Tailgate, watch the draft, go to a concert, whatever you want to do, Indy racing, pick up some chicken from Champy's world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Top Center, that's the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. If you don't like tamales or you never had a tamale, get those tamales, and it'll change your opinion right there. It's unbelievable. Mississippi Delta recipe tamale, all the fried chicken, chicken fingers, Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. All right, Tyler, give me cut 7. Terrion Arnold last night. Nick Saban so emotional when Terrion got drafted. Really was happy for all of his guys, but this one was like his son being drafted. Terrion talks about what he learned from being benched in Tuscaloosa.
The first 4 games this year? Oh, when I got benched? Man, I just learned perseverance. I mean, it's obviously even like the draft today. I mean, you expect the unexpected. People want to go high, And obviously, just sitting in the green room, they asked me, did I want to go and sit back there with Roger Goodell? I was like, nah, man, I'm in my moment. I want to be around my people. And, everything happens for a reason. And God got me here for a reason. And I say for such a time as this, we're going to go win a Super Bowl in Detroit.
I don't know outside of Terry Saban and Mr. and Miss Arnold if anybody loves Terry Arnold more than our own little T. Taylor Corn loves Terry Arnold.
He's my favorite interview we've ever done. And I'll tell you this. So you guys know that Chip Brown is a big Lions fan.
Well, he texted me about Terry on.
Yeah, he did too. And here's what I said. I mean, you guys tell me if this is wrong. I said one of the most developed players in the last 3 years, incredibly smart, one of the best personalities, if not the best I've ever covered. Amazing athlete, was a complete stud at hoops as well. Will be a shutdown corner for you guys.
What I told him is he went from being the guy that everybody picked on because Kool-Aid was on the other side to the better corner than Kool-Aid. I mean, that's what the NFL told you last night.
Yeah.
I was mentioning, little T's love for Terrion, and she was in our group chat saying my heart is breaking for Terrion because he kept falling. And I hated to see that for Terrion as well, but I think it had to be worth it for that moment. I know that's a lot of money.
And it's good to fall. Sometimes you lose a little money, but I mean, you go to what has become a good organization in Brad Holmes and what he's been able to assemble for Dan Campbell.
And they traded up to get you, which means they wanted you.
Yep.
And for that crowd to have 275,000 fans who all left after you finished being on stage. They all started to go to the house at that point. And on the NFL Network, Kay Adams was working the NFL Network mic. There's video out there of this. It's over the PA system there. And she just gives the microphone to Terrion, and Terrion says, I'm home. I'm home. No, the crowd's going crazy.
That was a great moment, and I love that for him that he got that moment. I mean, he could have been drafted anywhere, obviously, but to get that moment was pretty dang incredible for him.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather fall. Where was he projected? He didn't fall that much.
Well, I saw him as high as like 11 or 12. Yeah, I saw him pretty high.
Yeah, best available. I saw him as high as 11. Most people thought he would go 15 to 18.
Yeah, so down to 24, I think, is where he ended up going. So Terrion with the Lions, who are a contender instantly, and Nick Saban gets asked, you've already got Brian Branch there who had a great time. How would you play those guys? He said, I'd keep Terrion on the outside. The only reason we ever put him on the inside was we had to get our 6 best DBs on there. I'd keep him on the outside. Brian Branch is so good on the inside guy as a star or something else. So good options there in Detroit right now.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I have not seen an organization turn over as much in a positive way as I have with anything from the Detroit Lions, because front office was awful, ownership was awful.
And they got killed for hiring Dan Campbell.
The lady owner now, everybody loves her.
Well, she spends money. She's about to spend money on the quarterback, Goff. She went out and she secured the great receiver and the great tackle. They spent, as I said yesterday, they spent $220-something million on free agency yesterday, and they're still going to draft Goff. They trade up. They're aggressive, trade up to get the cornerback they wanted in Terrion Arnold. And just the city of Detroit last night was a postcard for Detroit.
Yep.
I mean, 275,000 people. I never thought Detroit looked like that.
I would go to Detroit. I wouldn't seek it out on other cities, but if somebody was like, hey, you want to go to Detroit?
Yeah, I'll see it.
It didn't look anything like I thought Detroit looked. The aerials, it was bright. It had parks and it had trees, and it looked like a city that I would go visit. It was crazy.
It looked nice. No,
it looked nothing like 8 Mile.
Did you guys ever watch the show Hung on HBO?
I've never seen it.
I have
with
seen
Thomas
it.
Jane.
I have.
That was based in Detroit, and they did show some locales that weren't as bad as you would think in Detroit.
Right. I like it when they cut to the war room and Dan Campbell has got the biggest lipper in the world.
And chasing it with water.
He goes, spick up water.
But it's a great time to be a Lions fan.
Oh, no doubt.
For the only time in the history of the Lions.
Peak of the organization.
They've been in the NFL.
Yeah. Good for the Lions fans there. Cut 6, if you can, Tyler. This is Dallas Turner. All right? Dallas Turner was projected to be one of the first defensive guys, if not the first one off the board. He dropped, still was one of the first defensive guys off the board. There just was so many a record number of offensive guys went first. Dallas Turner didn't look happy. He's a guy that has knocked a quarterback or two out of a game before. Here's Turner on his thoughts of dropping last night with all the quarterbacks going before him.
Obviously you'd been ranked, at least in the mock drafts and publicly, as a pretty high draft pick. And I wondered if you were kind of aware that there would be this big quarterback run early on in the draft, and that would push a lot of the defensive players down a little bit lower, and how you kind of took that, if at all, while you were watching that play out.
No, I definitely was not expecting that. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it was still a good thing to see. Still clap for people. Still happy for people. But it was the game's changing. Teams need what they need, so you got to respect it.
Call me crazy here. I'm sorry, Lance.
No,
Call
go
me
ahead.
crazy. Everybody's saying it was the Bears' night. I think it might have been the Vikings' night.
It's Bears or Vikings.
I mean, I think it could have been the Vikings' night in the long run, and I could be way off of this.
It will pay off with who's a better quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, McCarthy's in a better situation.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you immediately with Roma Dudze gave Caleb Williams a weapon. I get that, but that's an unproven weapon. I've seen proven weapons. They've got a dynamic tight end in Minnesota, and they've got maybe the best receiver in the game in Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy is set up for success. And then you drop Dallas Turner in there. I like their first round.
Well, for Dallas Turner, I think you lost some money last night. But would you rather be with the Falcons or the Vikings? I'd rather be with the Vikings.
Yep.
And then you guys heard Nick Saban say, "Dude's 250 pounds. He runs a 4.4. He's got a 40-inch vertical. I mean, what else do you want?"
Yeah. A little more,
and a little
more
production.
discretion than saying he's ready to move on to the NFL than moments after the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Other than that, never had a problem.
Well, he'll
with
never say that again. You don't have to worry about that.
Never have to say that again. But you guys got to exactly what I was going to talk about because we were just raving about the Lions.
Yep.
Green Bay's got Jordan Love, looked good at the end of last year, and you guys just talked about the Bears and Vikings. What do all four of those teams have in common?
They're in the same division, and that
same division
feels like it's competitive as it's ever been.
And Detroit's got quarterback right now with Jared Goff.
About to give him a long-term big contract.
Green Bay's got quarterback right. Last night, it's going to define the next 10 years of both of those organizations.
Yeah, really, really interesting there. J.C. Latham, cut number 4. He leaves Tuscaloosa and was,
he almost took Goodell out for us last night.
Yeah, that was scary.
I did not.
I don't know if he knew he had back surgery.
I don't think he did either, and he ragdolled him, man. Picked up, started moving his feet around.
Goodell's a big dude.
Yeah. Goodell was already not moving great.
Yeah,
and then he did that to him.
Yeah, I bet he took a pain pill after this. Here's J.C. Latham on what he's bringing to the Tennessee Titans.
You ask any coach, especially a more veteran coach, coach with experience, he'll tell you the best ability is availability. So I think I bring that to the table, and just my intent and my mindset of what I want to do, and not only just talking about it, just being about it. That's why I went to Alabama, coming out of high school, and that's why I went to IMG while I was in high school, because I didn't just want to be another guy who was just all talk. I wanted to put myself against the best players in my environment on a day in and day out basis, so I can have opportunities like this.
Dunaway, you got to get that grill.
Yeah, he's the trench king, first off, but give me the still shot back up there, Forrester.
He's murdered out and iced out at the same time.
I do appreciate that the Buckingham Palace loaned him that necklace.
How much of that's real, you think?
I hope not a lot, because if that thing is real,
ain't no telling, is there?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the crown jewels.
Yeah.
That's a freaking $500,000 necklace.
Crown jewels there.
I had a guy.
How can I say this?
Well, think of that. I had a Titans fan text me after the draft and say, "You watch a lot of Alabama and Auburn. What am I getting here?" And I was like, "Well, the guy was a mauler, and you just heard. If you're watching the game day, I said Nick Saban could not have said nicer things about him, and he said they told me the same thing about Chance Warmack.
Yeah.
And then I sent him the graphic we've been using this week. I'm like, it's coin flip, man.
Yep.
What do you want me to say? It's coin flip. I don't know what to do.
I guess that's what I'm going to say because you watch this draft. It was so offensive heavy, and there was a lot of linemen taken. But you've got to know the position. You got to know the position to understand the position, right? I didn't play offensive line. You guys didn't play offensive line. We've been friends with people who played offensive lines, and they try to explain it to us. We don't understand it. We didn't play the position. But J.C. Latham never really played on the left side, did he, in Tuscaloosa?
And that's what my buddy asked me. He's like, the thing that scares me is why was he always right side?
Yeah, and then just perception is that the left side's usually the left tackle is better than the
money.
right tackle.
You're putting money at left tackle as long as your quarterback's right-handed.
So I guess I'm asking, do you feel like at Alabama you got 7th overall pick out of J.C. Latham?
I don't, but I think that's because he played right side. I think if he played left tackle, you'd feel like you did.
Yeah.
If I'm a Titans fan, I'd rather have Joe Alt, but you didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah. I hope it ends up being great for him. I feel bad for him that he's going to the Titans organization. I just don't trust that organization right now.
Of the top 10,
they got a new coach, and I like their old coach, but they got a new coach, and I just don't know. I don't like that organization.
Back to the graphic you showed us of the top 10. How many guys get second contracts?
The top 10 last night?
Yeah.
Oh, and you're making me do what I don't want to do is project bust and hits.
I mean, all these quarterbacks can't.
No, I mean that's certainly against the numbers.
I mean, better chance of none working out than.
Well, everyone's saying. Kevin says all O-line picks are iffy at best. I always thought the O-line picks were the least gambles.
Well, that's again. So we keep referencing this graphic. It was
SS is right, by the way. He did look like a giant 8-year-old. Jack was watching the draft with me, and I was like, "You look so much older than Joe Alt."
I know, but he's a massive human.
Massive.
So it was Paul Himbo, who's a researcher for ESPN. He took from 2000 to 2019 and basically broke it down how many guys got a second contract from the team that drafted them. And the reason obviously he stops at 2019 is the first round guys from 2020 on aren't to the second contract just yet. And basically the best you could hope for was 59%. That was offensive tackle, 59%. Center only had 12 guys in that time drafted. It was like 90-something%, but that's a bit of a statistical outlier. Quarterback was like 46%.
It's a good stat for you, though, Dunaway.
Yeah. Well, center, yeah, you got a center. Those
Graham
guys
Barton
generally work out.
But it also plays both guards, both tackles. He moves around, which is what I like a lot. Craig says Latham only gave up 2 sacks and over 1,000 snaps.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think if he was left tackle, you'd like, yeah, it's really good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
And it's highlight tapes. But when I was watching him on the tapes last night, I was like, I should have watched that guy more. He was pushing people around at Alabama. Should have run it right. Why didn't Milroe run it right on that play at the end of the game?
The numbers don't support receiver, but you made the point that I think as this next group is in these numbers, it's going to improve receiver. One of the picks I like the best was Malik Neighbors. I think that guy is a dynamic player, but I don't know how they're going to get him the football. I just don't like the quarterback
and that's
situation.
the thing. If you're Malik Neighbors, you're like, damn,
I know.
Why did I go here?
I mean, if you're Malik Neighbors and you go one pick earlier to the Chargers, you go, well, I mean,
I would rather go to Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of places you could have gone where you could have gotten the football. And I'm not sure the Giants is one of those places. I don't know, Lance. I mean, of the top 10,
Here's
I like
your graphic.
All right, so Scott's got it there. So if you're watching us, you could see that it literally, even when we say it's a coin flip, it is a coin flip. I mean, these are the smartest people in football, and they can't get it right. But offensive tackle is your safest play in the first round. 59% of those guys sign a second contract with their team. Guard is your next safest play, but it's only 50-50. And after that, you're underwater on getting that second contract.
Yeah, the receiver is shocking to me. But, if you go back 5 years to 2000 to 2015, I think there were a lot of projects that maybe had production or showed upside for 1 year. You've got so many proven commodities coming out at that position.
I will tell you the position there that's going to drop is a running back. It's at 38% right now. It's only going to drop because how many times are guys going to get second contracts?
Not at all, because we can buy the next cheap one off of there.
Yeah, it's not even a guarantee that you get a running back that goes in the second round. Well, and I think Jonathan Brooks will, but...
And by the way, those are all first-round picks, so the running backs really maybe not drop because there's not going to be many in the first round anymore.
Greg from Pell City says, Jim, it was Latham who actually got blown up on that last play and pushed into the backfield that tripped up Milroe, so maybe he was supposed to run right.
See, there you go.
He was going to run right and got blown up, and everything went to Pasadena in a handbasket. Well, I love it. I mean, just lately, I've had one-liners that you've loved lately. Little things like that.
They're not even the obligatory laugh.
No, that was a legitimate laugh. That was a good line. Everything went to Pasadena in a handbasket.
I mean, you're the trash story yesterday about the guy with the long penis.
You had 3 in there.
Yeah, I mean,
with the long penis.
That's
Take that out of context.
Cut two, please.
New story, by the way. That's where it
slash new story.
New story.
Yeah, cut 2. Michael Penix Jr.
Is he going to a Jaws 3D?
All right, so what was the deal with the glasses? That was a sponsorship deal. Like, not everybody's just wearing glasses.
I'm sure it's sponsorship, but everybody had on black glasses. But at home...
This is like a road trip, though. You go into the gas station to buy more beer, and then some idiot comes out wearing these glasses just to make you laugh.
I bought it for $3.
Michael Penix Jr. is going to do a Zoom with everybody in Atlanta first impression. I'm going to keep these white glasses on.
What is Common doing over his left shoulder?
He gets asked if he knew he was going to be with the Falcons and about Kirk Cousins. Here we go.
What was it like getting a call from the Falcons? Did you have a sense that you would be selected by them in the first round of the draft today?
Yeah, man, the moment was special. You know, obviously it's something I've been dreaming of since I was a kid. You know, so to be able to be in this position, you know, I'm blessed. You know, and that's all I can say. I'm blessed. You know, I mean, I had no idea. You know, but I know that everything happens for a reason. I'm super excited to be able to be a part of the organization. I can't wait to go make an impact. You know, for me, you know, coming in, obviously Kirk Cousins, the guy who's been in the league. You know, he's been in there for a while. You know, he's played a lot of football. And so I feel like for me, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn from him. You know, try to soak in all the knowledge that I can from him because, you know, obviously he's been in the league for a while, like I said, and you know, it's a reason behind that. You know, and for me, I want to be able to soak in as much knowledge as I can, and you know, for me, I'm going in there to have fun and just get better each and every day. You know, and I'm trying to make an impact not just on the field, but in the locker room as well. So I'm just super excited for the opportunity.
Great answer, by the way.
Well, it is. So we've looked at it from the Falcons' point of view. If you look at it from Penix's point of view, this is incredible for him. I don't get thrown to the wolves.
That's right.
I get to learn from say what you want about Kirk Cousins. It's a pretty good guy to learn from. He's a veteran guy. He's seen a lot of stuff in the league. I've got, you know, Atlanta really needs to address defense. I don't know why they're drafting a quarterback in the first round, but they don't have to address offense. I got weapons when it's my turn. I mean, it is a fantastic spot for Penix.
Oh, for Penix, it's great. But, you know, as a fan that gets older and older, and I can let Forster speak for himself, but each year is precious. Each season is precious. And to know more than likely this guy's not going to play for a couple of years when you could have immediate impact guys that help you win games this year, I would be frustrated as a Falcons fan. I would be frustrated if I'm Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins came to Atlanta to make a lot of money, but at the same time, Kirk Cousins wants to win a championship.
Yeah.
The only thing Michael Penix was missing was the Flavor Flav necklace.
By the way, that production, I don't know, is that really the Falcons that actually had that guy interviewing him?
That's a Zoom
and
call.
And that was their quality they sent out.
That's a Zoom call. It's a random media person.
Member of the media, right, Scott?
Yeah, that was a member of the media.
Yeah, okay. All these were Zooms with it. You have to do a mandatory.
Well, I just saw Atlanta Falcons up on the graphic.
Yeah. Well, they sent it out.
It's their video.
Yeah, it's their video, but it was a member of the media, I think. Somebody asked if it was Tracy Morgan asking the question. Was it Bill Cosby asking the question?
Oh, pudding pop.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely an ice tongue before he started asking questions.
Our friends at Michelson Laservision who bring you that zoom-in look at some of the draft picks last night.
Yeah, pre-inflation pricing right now. Everything going up in price, not for LASIK and Michelson Laservision. Dr. Jen and Dr. Mark Michelson, and they have held that pricing steady for the last couple of years. Call 205-969-8100. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. Make sure you ask for Amy and tell her the next round sent you. Again, I'm speaking from experience. Got the procedure done over 20 years ago, 2015 vision. Better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Okay, I'm going to take my ear out real quick.
Your ear?
My in-ear.
Okay.
Take those out real quick.
All right.
Because I got to do the best interaction, the best moment of the day that nobody saw. So we have to sprint to the bathrooms, right? Because our commercial breaks are short, and we have 2 choices. It's same distance either way.
Left or right?
Left, right, left.
I switch it up. I don't know what you guys do.
Apparently Tyler does too, because Tyler goes this way, and he comes out because we got to get back quickly. He does this number right here. And Forrester and I are down at the other end of the hallway. We see him. He's running the wrong way, and he stops and turns and starts coming back this way. He goes on a dead sprint.
He ran away from the studio.
In the wrong direction.
Wow.
It is like, that's one reason I go the same one each time, because if I go to a different one, I almost always come out and turn the wrong way, Tyler. So I recommend you keep
not
it.
just me.
Yeah. No. I've done it before too. The problem is, if you use the same one every time and you take your time getting down there and then you realize the cleaning crew's in there, then you got a problem.
Yeah. It's just,
Do you guys ever ask cleaning crew to?
I've had to do it before.
I've done it before.
Yeah, I've just asked them, hey, can you give me a sec?
And normally they're good about it. One time I did it, and there was a pretty bad communication barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was going to hang out in there.
Dunaway just offers them a Coke.
She
I did that for a while.
Dunaway
She's
does
no
that.
longer with us. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, though I don't know if that was the same one, but yeah, I asked her and she just smiled and shook her head and just stood there in the door. I'm like, she has no clue what I'm saying.
That's when as I started approaching the urinal, I figured at that point they'll go ahead and leave. They'll understand what I was saying at that point.
Yeah, don't form a bond with custodian up here.
Yeah.
It goes quick.
It does.
It goes quick.
But she enjoyed all those Coke
I like
Colas
that
you gave
lady. I was sharing her the Coke products. Tonight,
are you going?
It's date night for the Dunaways, but we're not going.
I've never been, and people swear by this. So it's sold out.
You've never been?
I've never been to Yacht Rock.
So it's Yacht Rock tonight, right?
Maggie and I went last year or 2 years. I forget when it was, and we loved it. Which is why we're not going. She goes, well, we've already seen it. How different it's going to be. And I said, baby, it's different every time. This is a great show. And she'd already made other plans for us. So Yacht Rock's back in town.
Are you going tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I've never been. Aaron Suttles, I think, goes almost every time. I need to text him and see if he's going. Barkley was there last time.
Yeah.
Heard he was the only black dude in the entire crowd.
Can I just go ahead and tell you?
Yeah.
I went last time. You know what I got?
Sailor's hat.
A captain's hat.
Did you really?
I will guarantee you will not see me in a captain's hat tonight because there will be a lot out there.
Sailing.
And I'm kind of torn on the music. I like some of the Yacht Rock music. I don't love it. Our friend Chris Stewart absolutely loves it.
Ashley, Yacht Rock's a legit amazing.
I mean, these guys are so talented, so I'm really excited about seeing it. I think it's sold out. It's at our buddy Michael Seller's place at Avondale. But you can check it at AvondaleBrewing.com. They've got a big show tomorrow night. JJ Gray and Mofro. I think it's sold out.
Jeez, but he's sold about left and right.
It's an awesome venue to go to. You went to see Teddy Swims.
I saw Teddy Swims. They're also sold out, and that was the one where Sellers was like, So you're a big
Who
Teddy.
the hell's this guy?
No, he said, you're a big Teddy Swims fan. I was like, Sellers, I got to be honest with you. I've never heard of the guy. And Sellers said, I hadn't either until we booked him.
Yeah.
And I said, you're a big fan now, aren't you? He goes, I love the guy
Would
now.
you and Jennifer want to go tonight? I mean, is that your kind of music?
I don't hate it. Don't love it. Don't hate it. I am ambivalent.
You like it more than Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims is really good. He was good live. He was kind of losing his voice was the only problem.
Another one of these YouTubers that made it big.
Yep.
You liked the little Daryl Hall and John Oates back in the day.
I do like Hall & Oates.
I can't go for that. Remember that one?
Yeah, so what are the different ones? It'll be Hall & Oates, Christopher Cross, you mentioned there.
You'll get Rosanna Africa. They'll definitely play that.
Yeah, Toto, okay.
Yeah. You'll get a little...
See, I can't really quantify or categorize which...
What yacht rock is, right? Yeah, I'm with you.
There's a gray line. There's a blur of a little Journey or Foreigner, like Waiting for a Girl Like You.
Yeah, bring it.
We'll blend in.
I like that.
We'll blend in a little of that. You get a little, let's see.
Ashley. OMG, Toto is more than okay. Hold the Line, such a better show or a better song than Africa to me, though.
What was it? ELO, Electrolyte Orchestra.
Oh, you got some ELO in there?
You do. Sweet Talking Woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does that go, rock stars? Oh, he's not here. He could drop that on there.
I like Mr. Blue Sky better, but
Mr.
Return
Blue
to
Sky.
Stone.
You'll get a little REO Speedwagon.
You get any September? Do you remember?
That's a great song, but
that's in there,
not
right?
an REO Speedwagon guy.
That has got to be there. You'll get some REO Speedwagon.
Oh, I don't like Michael McDonald or Steely Dan.
Where are you going?
You'll get that.
Well, I mean, there's some I liked. I told you. I just want to see. I heard they were going to be in studio with us to fill in for Rockstar. We do have something special coming up in the Rockstar Lounge from our friends at Floribama. But these guys were going to come in dressed up and everything because I've heard they're just incredible musicians.
Oh, they really are. They play everything. You'll get a little Doobie Brothers. I don't like the Doobie Brothers.
I don't
You'll get a little Doobie Brothers. But,
Gotta hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama gonna take me.
What do people dress like outside of the captain's hat?
You'll get.
Is there a tire?
It's just outdoors.
I think it's like the Village people.
Can I wear my wolf shirt?
Yeah. Either that or pick one of the Village people and just
do whatever you want to.
I'm going to go as the Indian.
Yeah,
do whatever you want to.
Construction worker.
I don't know if the Indian would work in Avondale.
You'll get a little Captain Tennille. Love will keep us together.
Will we get Kenny Loggins?
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. Beach attire, says Ashley.
There's a Sirius XM.
I can't do beach.
Sirius
That's
XM
open-toe
does
shoes.
a yacht rock channel. I don't know if it's out yet.
Oh, yeah. No, it's on the high end.
It's like 80
numbers.
something in it.
Yeah.
Near ESPN Radio.
Yeah, and you know,
Or
the last time I got in
70-something.
C. Stu's truck, he had Yacht Rock on,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
that Sirius XM channel
Yeah.
was.
I'll drop it on you every now and then when it's not 90s rap.
So if you do go tonight, if you throw a curveball and end up going, will you wear open-toe shoes? Because if it's beach attire.
Yeah, what I will do is I did last time. I will have a couple of cocktails to drink Jimmy.
Is it a good edible show?
It was for me. But two beer Jimmy will do what he always does. He'll have flip flop back pockets, and I'll be flat out barefooted.
Are
at that
you
point.
kidding me?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you think I leave the concert early or not?
Yes, 100%. You leave actual good sporting events early.
Okay, trash now, and then we'll go live to the Floribama.
You are looking live.
You are looking live, but right now it's trash. Hit the big button.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right.
Oh, good, Tyler.
Mortgages done the right way.
I mean, that really is incredible.
Such a good question to answer.
It is spring buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country, and while the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with our friends at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website at mortgageright.com. Call their Birmingham office today, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. Now, Kanye's a little crazy, right?
Yes. It seems to be.
Now, there was a moment I thought he wanted to be like a pastor, minister.
He had his Christian. I mean, well, I actually
Did an album, yeah.
All right, Jesus Walks is a great song.
He did a gospel album. He appeared. Do you know Scott Dawson? I don't know if you know Scott. I know Jim does. Scott Dawson is a local evangelist, does a lot of student conferences, and is a good friend of mine. And he appeared at one of Scott's student conferences and spoke to the kids.
The reason I bring this
or
up,
sang, I don't know if he sang or spoke,
is Kanye probably, fluctuates a little bit.
In his weight?
He's on the
or in
other.
his,
No,
yeah.
he's on the other side of this now. Kanye West has his sights set on a new business venture. And it's all about people having sex on camera. A rep for Yeezy tells TMZ he's been kicking around the idea of launching his own porn studio and brand for a while.
So he's going from gospel album to porn studio.
And now we're told
and somewhere before, middle, and after that, batshit crazy.
he seems dead set on doing it. In advanced talks to actually get something up and running. They were told that Kanye has been talking about building an entire Yeezy porn studio.
I hate to tell him this. Putting porn on the internet apparently isn't hard. He doesn't have to have a massive flow chart.
This has been done.
Look,
Okay.
The business plan's out there.
Hey, look, to each their own. He's a capitalist, whatever, but he's got so much money. I don't know why he would want to take his brand down this road.
Okay, very quickly. Scott Dawson's Evangelistic Association has reached out to me. I'm being genuine here. He did not preach. He just sang as part of a choir.
Okay.
So,
I thought that he. I said is I thought he was pursuing something like that.
It seemed like he was there for a minute.
But he was also wanted to be the president.
Yeah, I believe that time has passed.
That was the.
He was touring with a gospel choir,
and that's
it
who
was
sang.
called
Yes.
Sunday Service.
Sunday Service.
My sister went to a youth group thing that had him there.
Okay, I bet it's the same one I'm talking about.
It probably is.
Yeah. That's on me.
The quickest statement ever released by a company ever.
That is on me. I appreciate the good people at the Scott Dawson Evangelistic Association listening to our show. I appreciate it. My bad on that.
I am guessing.
I have corrected it.
Yeah.
That is the Exxon. That is Exxon releasing a statement, and the captain is still sipping coffee. Nothing's happened on the deck yet.
My bad.
No.
My bad.
Yeah, that's Kirk Cousins getting the call when the clock's going.
Yes. I mean, it could not have been quicker, by the way.
Those boots he's wearing probably, I'm going to say $3,500. I was going to go 5,000.
Oh, they look like what you put on to do pressure washing. Are those real boots?
I would wear those before I would wear open toe out in public.
Okay. You look like an idiot either way, but all right.
I can't see the logo, but it looks like they might be off-white, so probably around $2,500.
Yeah. I would say that looks like what Gene Simmons had to wear on his Kiss outfit when it was wet outside.
Yeah.
Oh, a rain show? Okay. I got that.
I got the boots for that.
It's coming up on wedding season. People reveal their unpopular wedding opinions. Here's one. Speeches should be more like toast, 60 seconds or less, done by 3 people or less. At the actual wedding, I don't like the toast. Like the rehearsal dinner, I'm prepared for it.
That's right, because that's everyone who's in the family or in the party. It's not the masses.
And they deserve to be able to speak. And I think the bride and the groom, it's all about them, and they want to hear their friends and family talk about them.
Yep.
Here's another one. Wedding favors, a.k.a. fancy garbage.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I haven't gone to a lot of, look, I'm from Calhoun County. There weren't a ton of wedding favors, but yeah, I've never really gotten one that I thought, oh, that's useful.
Another one. I don't care if guests of my wedding wear outfits that have white in it unless you're showing up in a 100% white hall gown. Your floral midi dress is fine.
Yeah, but
I think you stay away from white.
Never wear white to a wedding, right?
You shouldn't wear white to a wedding, but there are times that the girls who are showing up to the wedding, the non-bridesmaids, they put on the nines, man. They look better than the bride sometimes.
Apparently, these are unpopular wedding opinions. This one says the rhymes on wedding signage kill me. They go on to give some examples. No need to pick a side. You'll all be loved by the groom and bride.
Yeah.
Another one, a little treat for your dancing feet. Take some shoes and bust a move.
So they're giving out really good sneakers at that point?
They're trying to give out rhymes. Here's another one. If you want your bridesmaids to wear a particular outfit, you should buy it for them.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
I always thought that was the case.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It just feels like, I ask a bridesmaid to be in a wedding, then she's got to spend $1,000 to do it. I've never really understood that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's your wedding. You ought to pay for it.
But like the bridesmaid trip that they go on, it seems like now everybody's got matching swimwear and everything and stuff. So
bathrobes.
It just gets so expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens for groomsmen too, though.
They would have matching swimwear?
No, I'm just talking about...
if I see groomsmen with matching swimwear.
Like, I was in a wedding where we all had to get the same suit.
Yeah.
You were in a wedding where you had to wear a bolo.
I was in a wedding where you had to wear a bolo. But I'm talking about if you go out and you have to get a suit, that gets expensive.
It does.
And back to the wedding gift thing. As a groomsman one time, I got a flask that is still my go-to flask.
How often do you use a flask?
Not very often, but when I do, it's that one I got.
It's funny you
it's that
bring that
one I
up.
got in 1998.
Because it seems like I used to use a flask a lot more. And I haven't used a flask in years and years and years.
Yeah.
So I wonder who uses flask anymore. Has that kind of like dated out?
Well, I mean, the only people I knew that honestly used them were like fraternity brothers at a SEC game.
Yeah,
And
but you know where I use it now? Or
on the golf course, your
where
birdie
I
juice?
see them use is birdie juice on the golf course, and I need to start packing my own birdie juice.
Oh, you making some birdies, are you?
Yeah. No, I mean, you make sure the group has it.
Maybe I've just gotten lazier. I just take miniatures. Like if I'm going to a game, I'll just take the miniature.
We didn't have
If
miniatures
I'm going
in
to
the
a
90s.
movie, I'll just take the miniature.
Yeah, that's what happened, yeah.
Oh, boy, you guys are going to be disappointed by this. First ever sex festival has been canceled over fears that performers would be stabbed
Does
to death.
Kanye know this?
I don't think so, but a sex festival billed as the first and largest in South Korea has been canceled after a public outcry saw venues pull out and performers quit, fearing they might be attacked or even stabbed if they attended. Thousands of fans were expected to flock to see their favorite Japanese porn stars at last weekend's KXF, the fashion event, but it was called off just 24 hours before it was to begin. South Korea is known for having a conservative approach to adult entertainment with strip shows and public nudity illegal, as well as the sale and distribution of hardcore porn. Local authorities slammed the proposed event as, quote, morally harmful, with organizers forced to search for new venues as they struggled to get permission, losing tens of thousands in revenue as they had to cancel the tickets.
My only takeaway from this is it's being hidden by the ticker. Those are some comfortable looking shoes. Can you shift it up just a little bit,
are those not
Forster?
like Croc clogs?
I mean, they look very cushy and comfortable.
There you go. Good job, Tyler. Yeah,
those are comfortable looking shoes.
My takeaway was all the men in the audience there holding up their phones, making photos. So creepy.
Yep. It looks like, I guess, from we're on this side. From the other side is probably Moon over Seoul.
You know what you don't want to do if you're one of those girls? A stage dive right now.
Yeah, probably not. No, probably don't make it back to the stage, do you, Lance?
Not at all. Here are historical figures who lived a lot longer than you thought.
Okay.
All right.
These are pretty crazy. Pablo Picasso. Yeah.
Picasso made it to 1970 something.
Yeah, he was a painter.
He was alive when The Godfather came out in 1972. I remember watching Ripley, the new series on Netflix. Really good, by the way.
Yeah.
But Picasso paintings were all over, and he was yet to be established.
Yeah, and see, I was blown away the first time I ever saw that Picasso died in the 70s. I was like,
because you think of him like in the 1500s or something like that.
Here's one that's going to blow you away.
Didn't do much for me, Picasso.
Wyatt Earp was alive when the first Mickey Mouse cartoon premiered in 1928.
Wyatt Earp made it to like 19 what?
28?
See,
28.
I viewed Wyatt Earp in the mid-1800s.
I pictured him dying in his 20s.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought he made it to the 20th century.
Yep.
Shirley Temple, how about this? Alive when Rick and Morty premiered in 2014.
Oh, wow.
She lived that long.
People were ordering Shirley Temples like 20 years before she died.
Now, did she die with a lot of money? Or because kid actors back then, that was a different world,
I can't imagine.
Oh, she got all the residuals on Shirley Temples.
She did not. She did not. What was the name of her song?
Trademarked that.
What was her trademark song?
Oh, I don't know.
Something
I don't know a whole lot about
something about lollipops. That's
Well,
all
I bet
remember.
she had some difficult parents. What do you think?
No, I'm going to check her net worth. I want to know what she had when she died.
I bet they stole her money.
Here's another one. Of course they
$34
did.
million.
Oh,
she
wow.
earned $3 million as a child actor, and think about that now.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that's adjusted for inflation.
Because that
I
would
think
have been in the 50s.
Yeah, that's probably $30 million now.
Yeah.
Bob Hope, alive when the first American Idol was crowned back in 2002, which was Kelly Clarkson, who was in 4 Downs this week.
Wow, look at Bob. Likes her, man. Look at getting the little Kelly.
But you know, this
and there's
is,
little
Justin Guarini?
Yeah, he's the little Dr. Pepper guy.
Little
Sweet.
Oh, is that Little Sweet?
Is that Little Sweet?
Same guy?
Yeah.
Hey,
wow.
so
different. They left that stage that night and went in different directions, didn't they?
You know, when we were in L.A. for the when we were in Pasadena for the Rose Bowl, we got on Bob Hope Boulevard or whatever in Burbank, and EG didn't know who he was.
Didn't know who Bob Hope was.
Yeah, we're like, we're on Bob Hope Boulevard. Who's Bob Hope?
Well,
finally,
I mean, for me, he was the guy that entertained our troops during Vietnam, and did the college football,
the All-American team,
that
preseason All-American. They would do like a 30-minute special, wouldn't they?
And
then
love golf.
and once a year, we'd come to Birmingham and play a Monday tournament with Charlie Boswell.
Yeah. And I remember the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic too. That was early season event on the PGA Tour.
Finally, it's hard to believe too. Lucille Ball was still alive when Tim Burton's first Batman came out in 1989. Wow, and she was a big time smoker too.
She was, but she was also 1989?
89.
she was an executive that people respected in Hollywood for a long time.
Well, it was the game changer when her and Desi Arnaz, when they were married.
That was a good movie, by the way.
It was very good. The one where
Javier Bardem and Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman, yeah, fantastic.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I am Batman. Yeah. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
If you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process so easy. And speaking of veterans, they are veteran-founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home or your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for you. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call the Birmingham office, 205-900-7200, MLS 2239, equal housing lender.
And by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Enjoy the draft tonight while watching. You can enjoy the great food from Champy's Chicken, but it's racing weekend today, Saturday and Sunday out at Barber Motorsports Park. Swing by Highway 119 in Alabaster. Get a big to-go basket of chicken or tamales.
Cheese, nothing.
And then get out there and spread that blanket on the grassy knolls and watch great Indy racing this weekend. Tailgating and football season, champyschicken.com. We go live to the Floribama to kick off Mullet Toss weekend when we come back on the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the region's tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The region's tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mama Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
I feel sorry for the next guy that's about to join us because when I get FOMO, he's the one that gets texted about 16 times in a week, and I go back and forth. I'm coming, I'm not coming. I'm coming, I'm not coming. I'm coming, I'm not coming. Steve Powers joins us from the Floribama, where there's already a sea of people out there. 40th annual Mullet Toss weekend going on. What a great looking shirt and an even better looking hat.
That just a coincidence. I wore it today. I didn't know I was going to be on with you guys. I wear it all the time. How are we doing, guys? We
good. How are you, Uncle Steve?
I mean, there are I don't know, is it thousands of people already, it looks like?
Say hey to my friend Carlos Sazerac.
Hello, Carlos Sazerac.
What am I drinking today? What am I?
You get some tequila, nice little bacon shot of margarita, so a little spice.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, appreciate y'all. So, yeah, that's part of Mullet Toss, obviously, right? So we started throwing at 10 this morning. We'll go until 4 this afternoon. Same for tomorrow. Same for Sunday. They're real fish, which is a good thing.
That was a weak ass toss behind you.
Oh, you just missed. One dude just threw at 110, which is pretty impressive. So
what is
there is
the
a line
record?
of people, but the cool thing is that when you pay your money, you get your free T-shirt, and every single dime of that goes to both sides of the line charities, Boys and Girls Clubs, and things like that. Usually generates between 35 and 40 a year, just from this event in the benefits from buying your T-shirt and throwing a fish.
This kid
folding
knows
it. He's folding it.
He knows the trick. He's going to fold it. So let's see how this does.
That's not bad.
Oh, not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Kid throw. Oh, that's not terrible at all.
Not bad for a kid throw. What is the record, Steve? Who's got it?
I still think we're around 193, 194, something like that. But the good news is you got that wind coming out of the east. My bad. Shit. Either way, it's blowing one way or the other. My bad.
Yeah. So do you have to go get your own fish?
It's helping. This is about the fourth one of these, but so I apologize. Go ahead.
It's 11:53, Steve.
Dunaway just asked you have to pick up your own fish because that kid ran and got his own fish.
Absolutely. So if you watch, people kind of stand and celebrate.
Yeah.
And Doc is right here on the mic, and he's going to tell him here in a minute.
Not a bad throw.
Yeah, not a bad throw.
I'm going to say foot foul on that one.
Yeah, senior division. It's going to take a minute to clear the field for this guy to get his fish.
Yeah. He's a slow walking.
I love the field crew.
There's nobody waiting. It's fine.
That's it. No, we have all day, sir. Yeah, boy, it sucks to be the one that has to rake, doesn't it? Rake the bunker.
I missed that.
I said it sucks to be the guy that has to rake the bunker. They have to rake every time.
Yeah, they do. Here's another kid throw.
Yeah, he doesn't fold it.
Oh, no.
He's holding it by the middle. I don't know about it.
Oh, it's a foot foul.
Foot
yeah,
foul.
he went over.
He went over the line.
Go ahead and tell him he's disqualified.
Yeah.
Ruined his first mullet.
Hey, so how many people, much like amateurs in golf, when there's a gallery at a pro-am, people get hit? How many people in the crowd ever get hit by a fish?
More than you think. It's crazy, especially if people try and do the side throw.
Right.
They'll slip off. These people are in danger over here for sure. So it's going to get out of the shot so you can see what's going on.
Guy needs to take his shoes off.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you, Steve.
This is going to be terrible.
So far, we're 0 for 6 on bikinis.
What is this guy doing?
Oh,
no. Come on, fella.
Yeah.
Thanks for donating to charity.
that was a tax write-off is what that was.
Kids division there.
We can get it.
Why don't you throw one for us, Steve? Show us how professionals do it.
The beautiful.
You fold it like she's doing right there.
That's right. She knows what she's doing. This is a true mullet pro right here.
Yeah, I bet she's dropped a little ring at the upstairs at Floribama before.
You think so?
I don't know what that means.
Maybe dropped a bra as well. Oh, that was terrible.
It wasn't as good as I wanted
it to be. It came apart.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
She came a little too far over the top. Now, Floribama radio's out there, by the way. Do you get that on iHeartRadio?
Thank you for that. Yeah, so when we find a girl in a bikini that throws, Doc, who's on the mic, who's been doing this, I think, 14 years for us now, asks them to run like they're on Baywatch. And so I was waiting for that one to happen, but I don't see a contestant for that yet. So, live music this weekend. We have 45 live performances between today and Sunday when we're done. So 45 different performances on 6 stages here.
Wow, this guy looks like he's been in the sun a while.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be in the dad bod contest.
Oh, look
at
at this.
probably.
Oh, it came apart.
Hey, dude, how about a foot foul?
Dunaway.
I don't think that's over. That's probably like 95 foot throw. And I think the innards went about 20 feet to the right.
Yeah, that one came apart. That fish is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does the fish come apart? Is it like you're hooking the finger, the index finger inside of the gills?
Yeah, you could say, hey, buddy, let me see your fish. Show these guys your fish. Show them what. So it's already starting to lose some of the luster, if you will.
Okay.
Take a bite. Take a bite.
Bite the head off.
So that one's going to need to be probably replaced. So we replace them every once in a while.
Yeah, I would say we're at the end of the line for that one. Yeah.
Hey, Steve, have you had anybody drunk enough when they go to get their own fish, much like this is on par, fall down because they're so drunk to go get their fish?
Hold on. Look at the little girl right there behind the guy in the green shirt.
Yeah.
The guts just on her. She's freaking out.
Oh, Steve, she got hit by the fish guts?
Oh, no. Bless her heart.
Steve, it's a little girl.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go help her as soon as we're done here.
As soon as I'm done with my drink.
A lot of therapy coming up for her.
That.
So
why aren't you guys here? I've been asked so many times today because I'm wearing this hat. They're like, "Oh, the guy's here." Guys, no. I don't know how we didn't work that out.
I mean, I really don't have. I was going to go to a concert tonight, but we can make it down if you've got a room for us.
My house is always open for you guys. You know that.
Yeah, I do. I don't really have a good answer as to why we're not there. I don't know that you have room for us right now. This place is packed for mullet. You don't need us for mullet.
I will tell you why I'm not there. I let a little piece of minding your intel slip in my conversation on Maggie and I making the drive down. When she asked, I gave one too many details. Which detail do you think shut it down? It was
maybe the bikini contest.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it'll be fun. Steve's gonna let me judge the bikini contest.
Wear your fedora. Hey,
that
Steve,
ain't gonna work.
Is it out of the?
Ain't gonna work.
Would it be wild if I said there will be over 250,000 Bud Lights sold on property this weekend?
250,000 what?
Bud Lights.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. I don't know. We're selling it here on the beach. It's inside, so we're going through a lot of stuff. I can't even tell you. I don't know what the bushwhacker counter ends up at the end of the weekend, but pretty solid. I'm sure.
Is there any chance you run out of bushwhackers?
No, sir. Not a chance. There's a system truck in this parking lot full of milk. That's what we use as part of the bushwhacker mix. But we will not run out of bushwhackers. Not a chance.
Well, let me just tell you that your NHL Stanley Cup playoff goatee looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
You got the chops going.
Hey, I do have a question, though. When all the Alabama contingent is here tomorrow morning, because they're all coming to throw, I think around 10:30 or so. What questions do you want me to ask them for you?
Yeah, we've asked a lot of questions already.
I'm going to send you the video of them throwing.
We'll text you. We'll take some ideas.
We'll send you some. We'll send you some. I'd worked out with Steve. I said, hey,
some inside stuff.
We need a little content since I'm not driving down there. So.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve, you're the best.
See you, buddy.
I appreciate you guys. We love you.
Love you, buddy.
Floribama. Look at that. Let's go to
gorgeous,
man.
Gosh.
Jimmy FOMO.
I'm FOMO now. I'm envious.
Yeah.
Looks great.
I mean, how good would it be going to get lunch right now down at Coastal or across the street at the Yacht Club?
Oh, I'd be posted up on that beach right now.
Sucking on a chili dog out behind the Tasty Freeze. I mean, great. That's our show today. A little bonus seconds for you there. We're back with you Monday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.